All right, we're live sorry, for a second I was taken aback. My niece is right here, and yeah, it's not easy for me to do it in front of a live audience. Of course, India have won the toss as the second T20I, and we are here to cover it by means of a watch along. Of course, there's Show Me here with a bit of a headache, and I know I'm being a bit polite there by sort of calling it a headache. It is a migraine from what I understand. We've of course got Neha, and both of us are really excited. I'm pretty sure so is Show Me. It is the second T20I, and it's India's first opportunity at winning a proper series 2-0 against Australia in the T20 format. And it also doesn't help the fact, it doesn't help India's case or India's cause that India have lost the toss. India will be batting first, unlike the first T20I. Nihal, let's start with you. Looking forward to the game. It's a packed crowd there right now at the DY Patil Stadium.
Absolutely, looking forward to the encounter, and it gives me memories of the last bit of our conversation from the watch along. If India's put into bat first, I think it will be a great test, right? So although we lead the series 1-0, batting here will actually give us a good understanding of how our batting is kind of faring. And we see Shefali Verma is in a good form, at least in the first match. We got some glimpses of that, and Smriti Mandana is also looking in that good-ish touch, unable to capitalize on her starts, unfortunately. But either case, we are in for a good competition, and India ideally should be aiming for a score of like 170 to 180 to really challenge Australia. And exciting chase nonetheless, yeah.
100%, 100%. I'm not sure what am I more excited for, watching the game there or my niece with her commentary right now, because it's just getting a bit too chaotic here. Show Me, let's get you in as well. India is batting first in like the first game, and we've spoken about how the DY Patil Stadium, at least in the last couple of years or so, has been win the toss, win the game sort of a scene, and expecting the same today as well.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm expecting a similar kind of pitch and a similar kind of a condition, and that is why probably Australia has put India to bat, right? But also, yeah, I mean, Neha wanted India to bat last time, and she was also expecting that even if India wins, they should really try themselves out and put themselves into a little bit of a pressure and try to see where they stand. Neha, dreams getting fulfilled. So yeah. But yeah, I think it will be a great test for especially Shefali. She looked to be in a good touch last time, so did Smriti. But that was also under the backdrop of chasing a low total. Now this is the real test. So let's hope that she really shows the glimpses of what we have seen in the last game.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, not the most fluent of knocks from Smriti in the first T20. Sorry, but yeah, we can always. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Let's not always be hopeful. Let's see what happens today. I'm looking forward to how India go about it today, because the surface, of course, will be a bit difficult to play, especially with the new ball. We saw the kind of damage Titas and Renuka, of course, wreaked in the first T20 in the power play, especially. I'm just very, 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 very. I'm not sure if nervous is the right way of putting it, but yeah, I'll just say nervous, because yeah, it's not going to be easy. We know this Australian side also is looking to come back. And we've seen that in the ODI series as well. Like after that fielding effort in the second ODI, the way they sort of came back and corrected, or rather righted the wrongs. Expect something similar to happen today, Neha, right?
Definitely. I mean, when you look at the kind of change that Australia has gone in with, like, Kim Garth comes in for Darcy Brown. You see this mindset, ki, we want wickets up front. Kim Garth has troubled the Indians, during the ODI series as well. So might as well, bring her in this T20 match so she can get some purchase from the surface. So it seems like a very clear mindset, boss, hame wickets chahiye, and those early wickets will be important, because otherwise you can't penetrate this Indian batting, right? You have Jemima probably coming in at 3. You have Harmanpreet. You have Richa Ghosh as well, who's had a great ODI series. So in that respect, I think they've taken a very interesting move. I thought Arisa Healy would, kind of stick to the same combination, but the inclusion of Kim Garth really shows that, if we win the toss, we're going to be bowling first. We need those wickets up front. Yeah.
Definitely, and that sort of arrival of Kim Garth also gives me an indication that Australia are going to be ruthless today. It also adds a bit of that batting value down the order. So expect them to come hard at you. Vasant, of course, says get in your knees as well. I don't think I have a say on that, my friend. If she wants to, she will barge it. I don't need to sort of worry about that. Right now, yeah, she's happy with how India is playing. I guess 8 balls into the innings so far, at least according to the broadcast in front of me. Superhero Rises asks us, when will the squad come out? Waiting for 3 days. Like I quoted Nana Patekar last time around same time, abhi bhi karna padega. Bhai, ye raha sirf BCCI ke paas hai. और उन्हीं के साथ चला भी गया है. अपने को नहीं पता, अगर आ जाएगा तो we'll let you know. I'm hoping it comes before tomorrow's MNL, so it'll make for great talking then. We have a lot of opinions about, India's potential squad, and based on what rumors we've been hearing about who's going to be a part of it. So a lot to talk about there. And Santari Cruz finally comes up with a very interesting question. How important is the opening stand for you? Like, I know it's either they both go all fired up, or they just don't score at all. Shomi, let's start with you on this in terms of India's opening pair. We spoke about the fantastic, stand they had in the last game of 137 runs. Of course, it won't be easy to replicate that, but what are you expecting from them?
I'm expecting a balance, definitely. See, for the first couple of overs, we haven't scored much. It's the first over was literally like a 1 run and one extra, and yeah, I think I'm definitely expecting Shifali to have a lot of senses while she approaches this game. Uh, she can be herself, but at the same time, Smriti has to play that anchoring role. Is
Ooh,
what I
that's a
feel.
close shout, and that's given. That is given, and Shafali's gone for a 6-ball one. Very, very, very good ball that, and yeah, Shafali for all good reason seems to be out there. But yeah, they've of course gone for a review. Not sure if that's going to sort of be successful in our favor. Not the most ideal of starts, but yeah, something we've spoken about again. It is the new ball. We saw how it played last time around as well. Early on the surface, sort of takes time to settle in, especially with the dew coming in later and all of that. You think that's out, Neha?
Yeah, I think it looks plum, guys, because
Yeah.
Shefali also was like thinking thoda, and then she went in for the review just for the sake of it. The ball seems very much in line. I think it is also hitting the stumps. There's no
Of
bad
course.
impact, so yeah,
Oh, geez, that's
seems
as
out.
plumb as it comes, man. As plumb as it comes. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother waiting for Hawkeye to come up there. But yeah, actually makes for the perfect time to take SS 90th question. You don't need to spam SS. We will of course get that. Should India send Richa Ghosh next in case a wicket falls in the power play? Wicket has fallen in the power play, so great timing that, Neha. Let's start with you. Should Richa Ghosh come in now?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of discussion we did have in that ODI series as well, right? When you lose an early wicket, might as well, have Richa come in so she can maximize the power play, get as many runs as possible. And this is going to be that situation for India. Like at 1.4 overs, you're already 4 for 1. So if you get someone like a Richa, she can, step on the paddle and get those runs immediately. So I think it would be a good, like elevation again in the batting order. And I think this also kind of brings your point to light, right? Akshay, you had said ki in T20s, it's fine if you kind of like shuffle up the order rather than having like, set roles. So yeah, I think this can be that perfect opportunity for Richa as well to, get some crucial runs under her belt and make a mark today.
Meanwhile, Kingat has already sort of, announced her arrival in the T20 side of things. Yeah, with the way she's come back, makes you also wonder why she wasn't there in the first place. We saw how well she bowled in the ODI series as well, and this wicket sort of just, is her sort of going ahead in terms of all the good work she'd done then. Show me again with Richa Ghosh, with respect to that sort of Richa Ghosh and number 3 discussion. What do you think is going to happen? Who's
I
coming in
somehow
according to
I
you?
feel it will be Jemima because the way I look at this game now, it's Jemima.
There's Jemmy,
Yeah,
and starts off really well with the first ball for
yeah.
there. Nicely driven, fast point. Excellent, nicely done. Yeah, Shobhi, you can continue. Why
Yeah, I
Jemmy?
just felt like that this was the stage. I mean, we had Richa had come in, and we still feel give keep Jemmy at a slightly higher pedestal than Richa, right? In terms of how, in terms of her experience of handling such kind of pressure situations. So yeah, rather than creating that again, like creating an opportunity again, I think it's a good move to keep back Jemmy at least at this moment uh, when we had a quick wicket.
Meanwhile, the latest update from BCCI is apparently that the squad is announced. Sanju is back. Virat, Rohit are also back, and I'm basing this only by all the comments coming in here. Nandlal, Vasant, I'm hoping you guys aren't sort of taking the piss out of us right now, so we're hoping this is correct. We're not going to bother checking it right now. It's fine. Time hai apne paas, koi nahi. In terms of a stat, we did have a very interesting stat for you guys. Yeah, this I stand corrected on India not having won a T20 series against Australia before. They did do that in 2016 in Australia. But India have not beaten Australia in 2 back-to-back T20Is since then. This goes on to show the kind of domination this Aussie side have, displayed across formats, of course, but in T20s in particular. A pretty cool stat that I came across a couple of days ago was, Australia's record versus India in all T20s and in DY Patil Stadium was slightly skewed. In all T20s, I'm pretty sure I'm not getting the numbers. I'm not being able to recollect the numbers. Aniruddha Statsman right now is on the call. Aniruddha, if you could help us out with that stat as well in terms of Australia India T20I record in terms of who's won how many games, and in DY Patil as well, because from what I remember, India hold the upper hand at this venue, and India will play 2 more T20s there. That's another dot ball for Smriti. Let's hope the steady start gets converted to something a lot more effective for India at least. Hariharan says expect Smriti to take more chances now that Jemmy has been sent up. That's actually a fair point, right, Neha? Like, how do you look at now Smriti sort of going about this? Because earlier she had she could sort of take the backseat because she had someone like a Shefali at the other end. Won't be the case this time around. So how do you see this going?
Yeah, I think, see, with the combination of Smriti Mandana and Shefali Verma, what usually happens is because Shefali Verma is playing that high risk cricket, you need someone to, play that anchor role, someone to take a back step. But now that, you have Jemima at the crease who can, run those quick ones and quick twos, I think Smriti can unleash her boundaries game. If not, go for those big lofted sixes, at least get those few grounded boundaries, because at the end of the power play, you need to have at least a run rate of like 7 or 8 to keep yourself still in the game rather than just give the advantage entirely to Australia. So I think this partnership is going to be very important, and Smriti Mandana can really press that accelerator and get those crucial boundaries. Yeah.
That's a booming in swinger there from Megan Shoot. Really sort of came back into Jemmy. Well played that. So show me how much you think India is ending up with at the end of the power play, because we've lost the one player who would have really given us that impetus with those boundaries and all of that. Won't be the case today. We have two sort of anchor type players, if you want to sort of classify them that way, right now in the middle. Expecting a high score in the power play.
So considering that we are already at a 2.5
And
and
that's our
the
second for. That's
boundary,
Jemmy's second for. Nicely swept
yes.
there. Nicely
So
done. Yeah,
it's
sorry, Shoot.
13. It's 13 in three. So maybe in another 3 overs, it should be around another 18, 20, 24 runs, maybe 21 runs around. So 21 plus 13.
34 is what Jemmy, not Jemmy, show me is saying, sorry, I was about to say, is what Jemmy is saying. Yeah, more than 34, less than 34, what do you think?
I think India might end up around that 35 or 36 range, because that's 86 runs per over at the power play stage. But with Jemmy's boundaries, back-to-back boundaries, I'm feeling a little more optimistic on the 40s,
Wow.
yeah? Early 40s.
Fantastic cut that once again, pass point between point and third man. This is really good batting, and something I actually didn't see coming.
Yeah, right. I mean, these consecutive boundaries will definitely help India's cause, right? Having a good score at the end of power play, and good to see Jemima, unleash her game, making the most of the gaps. We've seen how she does this, time and again for Team India. So in this match as well, yeah, hoping to see a lot more boundaries from her bat.
Also, I'm glad that she's taking up that role because we have seen in the last game that Smriti did take a little bit of a time to kind of settle in. So maybe giving Smriti a little bit of a time to settle in, and till that time, if she can handle up the pressure, I think that will be really good.
Interesting. Next prediction to be made. How much is India ending up with at the end of the first innings? Ooh, nicely cut, but of course there is a sweeper cover, so yeah, no boundary there for sure. Neha, let's start with you. How much is India ending up with at the end of the first innings?
Yeah, so I think very realistically, I see India end up at somewhere 160 or 170 because we've seen how sometimes we can lose wickets in clumps. It gets thoda difficult, but yeah, the optimistic Indian fan in me would definitely aim for that 180, 190. But realistically, I think the 150 to 160 seems doable, and if they can obviously exceed or surpass my expectation, nothing like it. So yeah, I'm predicting somewhere on those lines.
Wow, man, you're being really optimistic. If anything, I was going to say the optimistic India fan in me is hoping for a 150, 160 total. Interesting. I genuinely hope that India do get more than that, because we need truckloads more than just 150 to be able to defend something here, given how the surface tends to play the second innings. Show me, what about you? How much do you think is India ending up with?
I'll be happy if India ends up with 170. because that's considered to be pretty much a par score. And with the kind of bowling we have done in the last match, a 170 and a good bowling should be sufficient. Considering we repeat the the wonders that we have done in the last match with the ball. However, yeah, I mean, it'll all depend on how this particular partnership kind of spans out. A quick, I mean, if this partnership goes stable, then we might as well look a little above 170. It just all depends on how this partnership goes.
100% depends on how this partnership goes about their business today. Ooh, okay, no, that's just going to be another single. And yeah, like Hariharan said, it does seem like, there has been a role reversal. Jemmy is probably taking, is rather playing the aggressor's role here. She's already scored 3 bounties on her first 8 balls. And yeah, Smriti sort of, started off slowly yet again. Last time around, she was what, nil of 12, if I'm not wrong. That's where she was at. Hopefully, I mean, it's not been that bad so far, but no boundaries of leg buys as well so far. So that's also not gone in our favor yet. A couple of predictions coming so far. Kushal says 167 for 7 is what India will end up with. Peeps, do let us know in the comments how much do you think will India end up with at the end of the first innings, of course. Yeah, the squad is out, and yeah, let's just put it up for everyone's, sort of information. And cut straight to sweeper cover yet again, I would imagine. Yep. But yeah, that's a very interesting squad. We'll discuss about it, of course, as and when we sort of go into the innings. But yeah, Rohit Kohli, of course, make a comeback. The bowling also seems very interesting. It's Avesh, Mukesh, Arshdeep, Kuldeep, Bishnoi, Akshar, Sundar, Shivam, not Mavi, it's Dubey, of course. Wow, man, that's some setup. Definitely lots to talk about for tomorrow's Eminence. So do tune in then. We will talk about all of this. Again, 20 for 1 and the 4th was about to come to an end. Even 34 seems like a distant reality right now, Shomi. Kya lagta hai?
Australia is celebrating. Is that a wicket? Oh, that's a wicket. Jemima is gone.
I didn't even see what happened. What just happened there?
I think it was an edged ball, yeah. That felt like a thick edge. And Harmanpreet Kaur is the next batter, yeah.
Jeez, man. So Jemmy also has to go 20 for 2 at the end of the 4th over. Again, oh man. Didn't really see that coming. I was just going, oh, wow, man. That just could be a feather. Didn't really seem, I mean, I don't think I could see the edge out right there. I was just going to say 20 for 2 at the end of the 4th over. 34 seems like a distant reality right now, Shomi, and they've already lost another wicket. It is Jemmy.
Is it like kind of giving us a deja vu of what happened in the Australian innings last time? But
exactly.
So, again, just being positive about every situation possible. Again, a fantastic opportunity for Harman to stand up and take up the responsibility today.
Nia, who do you think is going to be our Phoebe Litchfield and Elise Perry? Like, who can come up with that partnership in case we do end up losing a 3rd or a 4th now?
I mean, if we lose another wicket, definitely, you're going to have Richa coming in. So perhaps Richa and Smriti can be that sort of a partnership that we have. But I think, as Shomi rightly said, this is the perfect opportunity for Harmanpreet to actually, make it count. She's been woefully out of form. And it is situations like this that kind of, bring the best out of her. Again, referencing that 2017 now, but she's done a lot more than that. So yeah, as a skipper leading from the front, I hope this is that one performance that really stands out. You have such a brilliant, lovely crowd that's come to watch the match. India looking thoda precarious at 24-2. So yeah, hoping for a Harmanpreet Kaur blitzkrieg.
100%. And Ashley Gardner is in the middle. She's finally got into bowl. That's something we'd spoken about a fair bit in the first game, that, why was Ashley held back and why was she not sort of brought into bowl earlier on, especially to someone like Smriti. It'll be very interesting to see how Smriti goes about this, because she doesn't. Oh yeah, that's nicely cut past point, and that's a 4 for Smriti. Nice. Good job, Smriti. Let's see now how does she look at this now. Show me again. Smriti, Harman, 2 of your most experienced batters right now in the middle. That's probably as ideal as it gets, right? Like if you had to lose two early wickets, these are probably 2 of your best batters that you would have wanted in the middle to sort of take you through, such choppy waters.
Always, of course, and but yeah, the only concern here is about Harman's current form. But yeah, these are the kind of situations in which you excel and you kind of use these kind of opportunities to really come back to your own self. So I think if she can use this particular platform, it'll be great for her in terms of going into the World Cup, which in between which we hardly have any further games. Uh, so I think it's this platform is important for India, but all the more so for Harman to come back to her own confident self.
And Neha, like if you were sort of in Herman's shoes, like how do you look at this? Like this sort of lack of runs, do you put it down to something technical, or do you think this is ठीक है boss, मतलब कर सकते हैं, just like what Herman said कि boss मैं तो अच्छा ही खेल रही हूँ, मैं तो out of form हूँ भी नहीं, बस runs नहीं आ रहे, बस और कुछ नहीं है. So again, how do you sort of look at this, and how do you bat yourself out of something like this, a rut like this?
I think with Harman, it gets very like in her mind, right? Kare runs nahi aa rahe. But in her case, she's a very confident character. She always believes that she can definitely get those runs. So I think if she gets those few early boundaries in this innings, it'll really set her up well, give her a lot of confidence. And I hope she doesn't attempt a lot of unnecessary sweep shots that has kind of also led to her demise at the in the middle. So I hope she can get those crucial boundaries and make her stay count. Also, I don't know if you both observed this. Like while the match was happening, they showed Jemmy's dismissal again, and the ultra edge didn't really show a lot of like lines like that. So do you think it could have been like a misjudged call, because Jemmy started walking before the umpire raised the finger? So do you see something there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened there, because I didn't even see the dismissal in real time, and but sort of if the batter is walking, you would imagine that she's gotten something there. It reminds me of the of Kohli's dismissal, if I'm not wrong. It was the 2019 India Pakistan encounter where he just sort of walked away. There was a century up for grabs, and Hassan Ali ka ek shortish ball aaya tha. If I'm not wrong, yeah, that's how he also got it. Now there was no edge, but Kohli Saab just walked out. He was like, what, I'm done. Just like Jemmy was like, I'm done, bro. I'm done. आज का मेरा हो गया अभी, मैं चलती हूँ.
But
But
tell
very
me something,
interesting.
Akshay. I mean, I'm assuming you must have played a lot of cricket. Have you?
I did play cricket today, if that's what you were trying to bring up. And Avnish, in case you're there live, got you out 3 times, buddy. 3 times. Thrice. Thrice. Of course, he took the bragging rights at the end of the day. He won the series 3-2, but thrice. Remember that? Got him out thrice. Peeps, thrice. Kal MNL में भी वापस बोलूँगा. No. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't play cricket today. Thanks for bringing that up. I was talking off air to Neha, and I was just surprised for a second. Wait, what is Neha reacting to? Overthrows? The
Oh no, no.
potential.
Actually, the Jemmy's
Yeah,
ultra edge thing, there was an edge. There was an edge.
there was
Yeah.
an edge. Yeah. No, but also, I mean, the kind of it looked like a thick edge. I mean, that's what the commentary says. So in such cases, isn't the batter supposed to like really get this understanding? I mean, like the batter is pretty much certain, right? I mean, what's
I've,
your
I've,
what's your perception of it?
to be honest, I for one have never understood why would batters sort of just walk out. Like, absolutely no reason why you need to do that. And yeah, if your point is ki spirit of cricket and all of that stuff, again, bhai, matlab, please just don't. It's a game. There are umpires for a reason. It's the umpire's decision that needs to be made. Like, अगर वो नहीं करते तो आप like इतना ही आपको मतलब ये सब करना है. If you want to be generous, if you're feeling generous, तो ये सब स्टेडियम के बाहर करो भाई. मतलब यहाँ पे आके क्यों? Oh, shot, यार. That's a shot and a half from the southpaw there to bring up the first 6 of the game for Smriti and India, of course. That's a fantastic shot. But despite that 6 and the 4 in the last over, she still is striking at less than 100, man. Again, this is the number of dot balls she's faced. It's crazy, Neha. Like, how do you look at that? Like, and this is the case with Shefali as well, something we've spoken about before. Both of them have this tendency to play a lot of dot balls, but because they have the ability to score boundaries, they tend to get away with it, more often than not. But when they don't, it looks really bad, right?
Agreed. I mean, I think in today's scenario, considering how Harmanpreet Kaur is really badly out of form, I think Smriti Mandhana is just trying to, slowly and calculatively trying to build her innings. Although it says like 15 of 17, she's definitely taking time to, construct that innings, hit a few boundaries, and then see, where Harmanpreet Kaur stands, and then probably get even more attacking. But right now, I think she'll have to still retain her wicket if, India is looking at a big-ish total. So I like the sense of responsibility that's coming in, but I really hope, Harman can strike some good boundaries, because right now she's just defending and it looks concerning. Yeah.
All I can say is she's middling those defenses as well. So yeah, come se come something good is coming out of it. Let's hope that she can sort of bat herself out of this sort of rut that she's gotten into so far. Vasant also says I'm watching on Geo, but I feel you're reacting slowly. It's not intentional, Vasant. अभी जो हमारे सामने आ रहा है वही हम उसी पे react कर रहे हैं. Unfortunately, अगर अपना Geo थोड़ा slow है तो we'll try and see what can be done going forward. So, oh, shot! That's a ball, yaar. Ball. Halka sa andar aaya. Just seemed to be enough to go past the bat. Ideally should have gotten an edge there, but no, not to be the case. Okay, he also goes on to say, I hope Rohit and Virat don't score runs, but going back. Yeah, kal ke MNL mein we will discuss about this and much more because the Indian T20, the T20 World Cup groups have also been announced and surprise, India and Pakistan are in the same group. I didn't see that coming. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, color me surprised. Like, what's happening there? India and Pakistan in the same group. Jeez, didn't see that coming. And England and Australia as well. Like, it's almost like it's decided कि boss ये होने वाला है. We did put this up in terms of Shefali Verma's inconsistency. We did have that banner out. Let's have that up again. Like, look at the scores in her last
Guys,
T20Is.
we just finished the part play and it's pretty close to 34.
Nice, Shomi. Nicely done. Of course, it is pretty close to 34, but we were hoping that 2 wicket नहीं जाएंगे कम से कम. Yeah. एक पे तो था ही already. We were hoping Jimmy could sort of play through, but not to be the case. Ashley's coming for her second over. Even in her first over, by the way, sorry, we'll get to Shefali's batting as well. Almost played on. But yeah, in terms of Smriti's batting against Ashley, there were 5 dot balls again in the last over that she played. Boundary of the first or the second ball, and then she played the entire over out. Like this is what sort of makes you wonder, like why not just take singles and at least play it around? It's in the air. And okay, in the gap. No woman's land, thankfully. And yeah, finally gives the strike to Harman, and this like Gardner's bowled 9 balls and all 9 of them have been faced by Smriti. Like this is a win for Australia in itself. Like irrespective of whether they got the wicket or not, 9 balls and she was able to score just the 5 runs. This speaks about how difficult it becomes. But yeah, in terms of Shefali Verma's batting and how plagued by inconsistency it has been, especially in the last few months, if not years. Just look at those scores, man. There's of course 1 of 6 today. Then there was the unbeaten 64, that fantastic innings last game. Then it was 6-0 and 52 against England in the 3 T20 as they played in December. And then there was 9-17 in the Bangladesh series, 67 versus Malaysia. Just again makes you wonder like what's going on, because she comes up with that one good knock in the series that makes you think, you know what, she's there, she'll come back to form. But again, like, is this sort of reason enough for someone like Shefali to face the axe in this format as well, just like ODIs? Show me, let's start with you, thankfully. Okay, that's not gone to mid-wicket there, thankfully. Show me, let's start with you. Shefali Verma, the T20 batter. Again.
Well, if we just look into the time in between these these matches, they probably would have been lasting from 2022, end of 2022 till the whole year. So 5 or 6 matches in a span of a whole year is something we have spoken about it before, that it's the sheer lesser number of games that she is getting or anybody is getting. How do they utilize this to come back to form? Of course, getting back to domestic cricket and using those games for coming back to form is one thing, but yeah, that's very different from especially in the women's game today. The domestic cricket is very different than what they would be facing in an international stage, right? So that disparity is huge, and if you don't give them sufficient amount of game time, I think that's it's difficult for a player to come back to form, or a player to lose form, as a matter of fact.
Interesting, yeah. What do you make of that? Because yeah, it is right in the sense what India played like 10 T20s last year, and they don't play as big sort of tournament as say the IPL is. Like WPL is just about 22 games long. Each team plays at best 6 to 7 games. What do you think? Like, do you agree that the sample size is too small to sort of draw any sort of logical conclusion from it, or do you think no, this is actually a clear sign of her not being informed?
No, I think it's a fair point, that we don't have enough matches. So whatever inferences we are drawing from is a very small sample size. And I also want to bring in this aspect of domestic cricket. Now, Shefali Verma did play that interzonal T20 trophy and the senior women's T20. Oh, that's a brilliant boundary. And so, yeah, she did play those tournaments. Yet, we saw her come out with good returns, and that gives you an illusion ki, ha, she is in form. Now, we'll take an example. Like yesterday, senior women's one-day trophy, Delhi defeated Nagaland by 400 runs. So, in domestic cricket, what happens is you have very few teams which are actually really good. So, you don't get to see those well contested contests. You end up seeing very one sided things. So, now Shweta Sehrawat scored 242. I bet like an average person, like an average Indian fan or anyone would be like, we'll slot her in the team. We'll get her as an opener. But then for a fair assessment and to actually, slot her into the team, you have to see how she performs against the other teams in her group. If, Delhi goes all the way to the pre-quarterfinals or the quarterfinals. So I feel like making that fair assessment with the kind of oppositions you're squaring off against will give you a good, sample size ki, ha, matlab, itna matches khela hai against this team and, she has scored so many runs and can be like the perfect replacement. But to answer Shefali Verma's question, I mean, yeah, like against top flight teams, we've seen her have this, high risk type cricket, and sometimes she gets those massive runs, sometimes she doesn't. But that's when I really hope BCCI can step in and organize a lot more matches for these girls, because the more we get to see them, the more we'll be able to make our observations. Yeah.
And also here, just drawing the point around to get more matches. I mean, in men's cricket, we understand that the IPL is what it is with 10 teams and 2 months old is because of the international calendar scheduling, right? So here we don't really have an issue of if we are not really looking at a very long international calendar, we might as well start thinking of a longer WPL.
100%, and that's where it also sort of talks about the kind of cloud BCCI sort of has in, say, men's cricket, and that's not really the case when it comes to women's cricket, where it's the Australian Cricket Board, and as a consequence, the WBPL that sort of gets a major. Is that a wicket? Oh my goodness! Smriti has given away yet another start. Oh man, it's the same story, same old story. I'm not even sure what to make of this. I was about to say, you know what, it's looking good. Smriti maybe could get a couple more boundaries, could get in the groove and help India out. Pulled it straight to who's the fielder there? Who's the catcher? I don't think I got the name or the face there. I'm not sure. Was it Elise Perry?
Ellis Perry. It's Ellis Perry.
Yeah, it was Perry, right? Jeez, man.
Also, this brings us to your point that you just spoke about a little while before, that why isn't she taking just a few singles and kind of playing this out rather than hitting those big hits?
Yep, absolutely. And once again, straight to the fielder, like straight. We saw this in the first T20I as well. At least there we can still understand she just wanted to go for the glory shot. We saw this in the third ODI as well. I remember how neatly she timed that, exquisite loft inside out shot straight, absolutely straight to the fielder there at deep extra cover. Oh man, old habits die hard, I guess. Like, I don't think excellent fielding, field placement, by the way, by Lisa Healy. Kudos to her there. Yeah, Richard Ghosh is in the middle. That's all I can say. I just have to quickly sort of forget that and just move on right now. Vasant had gone on to say she has the power to clear, and we've seen in games where 30 of 26 have been difficult. So my take is you need that's a 4 to begin with. 4 leg buys or 4 runs. We just have to see that. But yeah, have been difficult. So you need a power hitter or try a new player or get your captain to open. This is what Vasant had to say. Okay, that's 4 leg buys. All right, no worries. Still 4 runs into the account. So happy about that. But so this is basically Vasant is adding to his point previously where he mentioned that probably someone like Herman should open with Smriti, and they could use someone like a Shefali Verma as their finisher. A very, very left field choice. Neha, what do you make of that?
I mean, that's a very interesting way of putting it. I mean, Harman to open, I'm not very sure because I think she's much suited for that middle order rather than that opening slot. Even in domestic cricket, I don't, have any recollection of her coming up that early. Plus, I think she would really struggle against the new ball. I might get cancelled for saying this, but I think she does have her fair share of struggles against that new ball. So opening is definitely ruled out. And yeah, I mean, Shefali Verma as a finisher, I think in the WPPL season where she played for Sydney Sixers, she was kind of, used in that 6 to 7 position, and she did not have like the best of the returns. But again, I think the moment Shefali Verma is put that low in the order, it kind of like might play a lot with her confidence and belief. Ki, oh my God, does the team management, not look at me as that opener slot, something I started my career with, and now they want me to come in, much later, which might actually end up putting a lot more pressure on her rather than do us better. You can might as well look at other finishers, right? I think in our previous show we spoke about the likes of Kanika Ahuja, who's warming the bench currently, who can perhaps slot herself in. So I think meddling with that batting order may not be like the most ideal thing. Yeah.
Definitely, and also in all fairness, Shefali sort of made a name for herself in international cricket by being able to maximize the power play. She is that sort of a player who likes to sort of very easily clear the infield and get those boundaries in. Not sure how she'll be able to do that when the field's a lot more spread out, when she comes in and say the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th over. So it becomes difficult. It's not just about power that we're talking about, it's about what your game play, what your stroke play is sort of suited for. Meanwhile, coming back to the game, Georgia Wardham has come in for her first over. 3 balls, just a solitary single. Again, 8 overs, 46 for 3. We're sort of going nowhere right now. The innings seems to be going nowhere right now. And I don't think, we do have batting depth. We do have 10 batting options if I want to include Titas as well. And it's sort of me just, clutching at straws right now. There was a very interesting question earlier on WPL. Let me just try. Oh, that's a short ad from Richa. Okay. Had she timed it too well, it would have probably gone straight to the field. I'm just looking for that comment. I'm not sure where
I
did
think
it
going to the
go.
conversation around the openers, also we spoke about this the last time that, in case Shefali is left out of the team because of whatever the form issues, then we could actually slot in Richa on the top of the order. She definitely has those power hitting capabilities. So yeah, that can be a good spot for her as well.
That's very interesting, and will also be a logical extension given that she did play at number 3 for India in the Test and, of course, the ODIs as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the team management looks at it. We will talk about this in detail going further into the game. Let me just take Santa D. Cruz's comment. Yeah, this was the comment I was searching for. Just to put it across, has WPL helped shape the Indian side in T20Is? I know just one season with thoughts. Neha, let's start with you on this. What do you make like so far? Of course, it's just been the 1 year. But what do you think? Like the WPL has already played a decent enough role in shaping the Indian squad, the Indian setup.
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at the Women's Premier League, this was a league that was really vouched for by the players. So definitely, I think it has helped the players a lot with respect to, this whole conversation around strike rate. I know today is not the best example because Suniti Mandana did not have a strike rate touching 100. But either case, I see this whole renewed zeal, when they come out to bat. There is this intent to actually score runs, take those quick singles, doubles, and you're playing with the likes of English and Australian players who really, give you that exposure and understand, how to construct an inning. So that's it. It has actually done a world of good, and I feel like we see some of that, the remnants of the Women's Premier League, the intent and all, even in our domestic, cycle and that ecosystem with the kind of scores we are seeing now. I mean, we did see those scores earlier, but I feel the Women's Premier League has given more context to these players. Okay, let's utilize platforms like domestic cricket to seal our place in the Women's Premier League team and eventually to the Indian team. So that kind of a pathway system is really good, and I think in another 5-6 years we will definitely see stars emerging from that. I think the biggest example has to be Saika Ishak, right? We knew she was in the domestic circuit, but the Women's Premier League gave her a platform to come to the center stage. We got to know ki Are Bapre, we have such a good spinner in our ranks. What are we waiting for? Let's give her that debut. I mean, again, the question of was it a rush debut or so is a discussion for another day. But it certainly has given a launch pad for a lot of these players. Yeah.
Oops, 100% almost spoke on me there. Thankfully, not to be the case. Meanwhile, India have also reached The 50-run mark, end of the over. I mean, that was the end of the ninth over, of course. Now it's 52 for 3, 9.2 overs done. Yeah, like Harman seems to be timing the ball, but I'm not sure, like, like how much time does she want to give herself before she starts, going for the boundaries. But Shomi, I have the same question to you as well in terms of WPL and the kind of role it has played so far. At least we've already seen quite a few names come through, the WPL route. There's Saika, there's Shriyanka, there's Kanika, to name a few, of course, who sort of did well in the WPL and as a consequence also sort of ended up, being a part of the Indian setup. Do you see a lot more names sort of making their way into this side now going forward?
Definitely, for very obvious reasons that the just take the example of Shriyanka, leaving aside the skills that she has picked up and the look. I mean, I'm just in awe of her confidence. So I think that's what WPL, or as a matter of fact, any of these franchisee leagues give you. Also, playing under these kind of stalwarts, getting that opportunity definitely matters. So I think WPL as an over and above in cricket, the concept of franchisee cricket emerging a lot more, the landscape changing a lot more towards franchisee cricket versus an international cricket is inevitable. So I think the kind of things that franchisee cricket does will definitely brush upon women's cricket to a very large
Chalo,
extent.
2 free runs to us thanks to the overthrows, but that was a very good ball there by Annabelle Sutherland. The ball just cut back and sharply there to the Chagos. Not going to be easy. Not definitely not going to be easy by the looks of it. We're done with the first half of the first innings. 54 for 3 is what the score is right now. Neha, 150 अभी भी लगता है होगा.
Yeah, I mean, unless, Richa and Harmanpreet can really unleash some quick fire 50s or 60s, we can probably get to that mark. But this is Australia, come on. And they are looking in control of the situation right now. You're not getting any, easy deliveries or dollies that you can just dispatch. So I think realistically, India might at least would want to get to the total that Australia got last time around, that 140 mark, to be on the safer side and actually exert some pressure on Australia. But to also look at it from an Australian POV, like credits to them for bowling like so well, right? Plus, this is Elise Perry's 300th match, so they would want to give her a special gift by wrapping up this not series, wrapping up this match with a win and get it to 1-all. So yeah, a lot of things riding for them, no?
Definitely, and also if you had to look at sort of, bowlers to target, because clearly they'll have to sort of start attacking. Who are you looking at? Because there's Georgia Warrior, there's Ashley Gardner, there's Annabelle Sutherland, probably a Migra might get an over or two at best. Who are you looking at? Kim Garth? Like, who are the bowlers? Show me, let's start with you. Like, are there any names that you're looking at? Like, who would you want to target? Who is sort of the weakling, the supposed weakling? Like, again, I'm just being very dramatic here, but like, who can you target?
I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to recollect what happened with the Aussie bowlers. Sorry, the which of the Indian bowlers were the weakling in the last game? Because it's almost looking that like the pitch is behaving exactly the cut copy paste same way at it as it did last time. So we can expect a lot of similarities in that front. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to recollect who was the person who
It
could
was the
have
fifth
been.
bowler. मेरे को याद है. 4 overs, 51 runs, 2 wickets. Amanjot Kaur, Pooja Vastrakar, 28 and 23 runs. Will not forget, because that's whom they targeted, and understandably so. But again, who, like Georgia Warrior, maybe, like, because she does have that tendency to bowl the odd long hop sometimes. Maybe again, just sort of wishful thinking maybe on my part. But
Yeah,
Neha,
I think it's just because it's Australia, it's very difficult to pick up and even imagine that that can happen. Yeah.
exactly, Neha, you can also chip in here. Like, what are the names you're looking at in terms of being able to target?
I think in the latter part of the game, definitely Annabelle Sutherland. If she's not able to execute her Yorkers to perfection, probably she could, come under the scanner. And if T-Mac, she gets a couple of overs, I think India can definitely, try to make the most of her. Plus, even Megan Shute has not had like that, great of a series, especially in the ODI. She was rested for a couple of games and came back and all. That's a wicket. Ash Gardner strikes.
That's a wicket. Oh, I thought I was going, man. Oh my goodness. Harmanpreet Kaur and
This
her
is
woeful run form continues. Yeah, just getting back to worse very quickly right now. And yeah, I was actually going to mention Annabelle Sutherland. Are you like the same bowler who sort of defended the last over against India? Is that the bowler we're going to target? Yeah, it just goes to show how good this Aussie bowling lineup is. But oh man, another catch for Elise Perry, and she is not dropping those dollies, of course, definitely not. And Ashley Gardner gets her first wicket of the series, and yeah, man, things are getting pear shaped. But again, wait, did I see Deepti Sharma walk in?
Yes, I was just going to bring that point up because when you have Pooja Vastrakar, why are you slotting in Deepti so early at number 6? This is something we cannot wrap our heads around, honestly.
This is beyond bizarre, beyond bizarre. I told you that was an aberration, says Vasant. I'm not sure what is he even referring to here. What was an aberration? Like the first T20, is that what he's referring to? The result in the first T20? Just clear that out as well for us, Vasant. Let me take Hari's comment, since he mentioned that if another wicket falls here, wouldn't it be a better option to send Shriyanka as a pinch hitter, because Deepti and Amanjot are not going to improve the situation? I wouldn't club Deepti and Amanjot in the same category, but I get where he's coming from. The idea isn't the worst. They could have sent someone like a Shriyanka or even Pooja or Amanjot, anyone but Deepti, and it would have been fine, but they decided to go for Deepti, who has a strike rate of 400 after playing her first ball. So yeah, at the end of the day, who's looking stupid now? Scores a bounty of a French cut first ball. But yeah, this won't be easy. And Deepti and Richa, that's as opposite, a duo of batters that you could have come up with, to bat together. But again, once again, do you think India can reach 150? Show me.
Did she get a little lucky there?
Yep. More than just a little lucky, to be honest.
Looks difficult from at this point of time, unless.
And she's managed to maintain a strike rate of 400 at the end of her second ball as well. Okay, I'm looking even more stupid by the ball. But yeah, this is the same question to you. Show me in terms of India, can they still reach 150 from here?
It looks very difficult. 150 is like another 90 odd runs in 9 overs. So it's 10 run per over, guys.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
and she's back. She plays. She's come back with what she's known for, that solid defense. Something I'm expecting a lot more of going further into the second half of the first innings, of course. Hariharan also had to say role clarity is lacking clearly. If Deepti is not promoted up the order right now to attack Warham, then her role as a batter in the team is nullified. Plus, as Amanjot there in the side because she can bowl. Okay, let's start with the first question. I'll first give my 2 cents on this and my opinion, and then we'll sort of go to Neha. I don't consider Deepti a good enough T20 batter. I don't look at Deepti the T20 batter at all. I would just look at her bowling abilities and just stick to that. I would just consider her to be a bowler in this format and play her at number 9 and number 10. Neha seems to be happy, and I can see why she is happy. That's a fantastic 6. We were talking about who can India attack. We found our answer clearly. It is going to be Ashley Gardner. Understandably, because she has been, I wouldn't say the sort of worst, but the least threatening of the lot. She has been in a slightly rut of form herself. So this is not the worst option to attack. 69 for 3 is what the score is at the end of the 11th over, which means we've scored 15 runs, 2 fours and a 6. And of course, the wicket of Harman, not to forget. But yeah, coming back to the question, Neha, what do you make of this? Deepti being promoted. So Hari basically says that she should be promoted up the order, or else her role in the team as a batter is very limited. Agree with that?
I think another way to look at it is that right now India's already like 4 wickets down, right? So it could also be a way to salvage the situation, get a few handy runs, if not a few boundaries. Like, I don't think the entire intent was, to just promote her to attack Georgia Warren, because we know the kind of bowler, Georgia Warren is. She's gotten so many wickets in the ODI series as well. It would be a great thing, like a side consequence if she ends up, actually attacking Warren and gets those crucial, runs. But her promotion is still quite for the lack of better word, I'm going to say questionable, because you still have Pooja Vastrakar and like Amanjot, you have even Shriyanka, right, who can get you those handy runs. And Deepti plays more of that slow game. She takes her time to settle in and attack and unleash. I hope she proves us wrong today, because the strike rate is giving us a different story here. But also, I think to answer the second part of this question, is Amanjot there in the side because she can bowl? Yeah, maybe, because she does offer that extra pace bowling option. Pace bowlers pace bowling all-rounders has been a commodity that India has been chasing for a very long time. Pooja Vastrkar was that prized commodity, we got into the setup early on as well. And now with Amanjot, we see that confidence. But I still feel, we need to give Amanjot a few more matches if we really want to see her batting exploits, come to the picture. Like we did see it briefly in that England series where, she was striking well, but that was just like, again, like one of, scenario where we got to see that. So I think it's a fair point that, role clarity is like clearly lacking in this setup. But then I think that also kind of takes the point about how T20 is very volatile, right? So we'll have to probably look at it that way as well.
Fair enough. Show me in terms of, all-round options and pace bowling all-rounders. It is a rare commodity in the Indian circuit. We've spoken about this. But Vasant here clearly is not too impressed by Amanjot's skills because he's also said, there are better players than Amanjot. Do you know anyone in the domestic circuit who can tonk and bowl some medium pace? We'll, of course, get to that. But, oh my goodness, that's a top pitch. But straight behind the keeper for the fourth. Chalo. We have been lucky in the last couple of overs, 2 boundaries or edges so far. But again, good signs now
I
the
think
way
it
India have
should
started.
just a single partnership that can, we should just look at it as maybe another 3-4 overs of this partnership going on, and then just go with 6 wickets in hand. You just go all over the park. Like,
So you would probably want them to take it, let's say, the 15th over, and just make sure we go to about 100, and from there just go, all guns blazing and just try and get as many runs as possible. Interesting, of course. I do agree with that, given the kind of hitting potential we have waiting in the wings. There's Shriyanka, there's Pooja, both of them yet to come. There's also Pooja. Titas is also known, for her ability to sort of, handle the long lever. So definitely I'm counting her in as well. Very, very interested to see now how these two do it, because Diti right now is playing. Again, I can't not look at her strike rate. 5 ball mein 200 ka strike rate hai. Something I don't think I've seen in a long time, in a very long time. So yeah, it's great to watch. But about the question that Vasant had, that's in the gap again. Richa playing a typical Richa innings, 11 balls, 19 runs. Great to watch. Yeah, Richa is clearly, the duo clearly are trying to sort of come up with some sort of a semblance of a counter-attacking partnership, and it's great to watch. A lot of boundaries. So what? We've seen 5 boundaries in the last 10 balls. Yeah, that's a great 10-ball period for us. Let's hope they're able to continue this. But yeah, just coming back to this, Neha, let's ask you, since you're also covering the Senior Women's ODI Trophy right now. And apart from that as well, who do you think, do you agree with this, that Amanjot is probably not good enough? This is what he's trying to say. And do you know any other players who can sort of come in, who sort of have similar potential or operate in the same sort of capacity as that of a pace bowling all-rounder?
Yeah, so the nostalgic Indian fan in me would definitely, go to a very familiar name in Shikha Pandey, right? I mean, the kind of pace she has and the numbers she has versus Australia, it's a shocker. It's absolutely beyond me why she's not a part of this team. So she's definitely one who comes right at the top of mind, because she can, tonk and get you some, crucial runs on the board later. And she has good numbers versus Australia. Brilliant pace bowler. I don't know why she's being sidelined. But either case, I hope, that she continues to perform really well in the ongoing Senior Women's One-Day Trophy and can stake a claim in this side, yeah.
Definitely. And what about a few other names? Again, I don't know why I remember this name, but I'll have to. I don't know why, but I shouldn't mention that explicitly again and again. Simran Dil Bahadur is another sort of pace bowling all-rounder. But again, from what little I've seen of the pacer in her, what do you make of that, Neha? Because you would have seen a lot more of her. I've only seen her in those exhibition games that happened a while back. Do you think she sort of has that potential?
Okay, so with Simran Dil Bahadur, what I think is she has that raw pace, but she's not able to get those line and lengths right. I mean, in her limited international appearances, we've seen her just get dispatched all around the park. Brilliant pace bowler, but is unable to capitalize and make the most of that potential. And to just just answering a previous question of, who are these potential all-rounders who can, slot themselves back into this Indian team, how are we forgetting Arundhati Reddy, right? Again, brought into the setup so young, again had raw pace, and, was unfortunately just kept aside, rested for a few games, was warming the bench. She's been doing really well. So, she can definitely get a look in if India is looking at, pace bowling all-rounders who can shore up that batting later on. And yeah, I'm feeling quite optimistic with the way she's been performing.
Geez, Arundhati Reddy, there's Shikha Pandey, then Tita Sadhu, there's Marizan Kaur, there's Annabelle Sutherland. There's only one thing connecting all these names, and I'll just leave it at that for now. But let's take this comment as well. Hari Haran goes on to say, if we get Richa's entry point right, just like how Australia have been able to do so with Litchfield, then we might just see her transform to a different level. Show me agree with this, because again, we know the kind of X Factor player that Richa is.
This exactly pretty much in line with what we spoke a little while before about, she can be in case Shifali's position is under threat, then Richa can be looked upon as a.
Meanwhile, I have to sort of, call the press right now. That's a fantastic sweep shot that, Deepti Sharma has pulled out. 15 of 7. What am I seeing right now? This cannot be real. This genuinely cannot be real. 15 of 7.
Deepti Sharma heard us. Deepti Sharma heard us make all the comments about the strike rate, and she took it seriously. Our show is doing well.
Definitely, clearly that's the only reason. There's nothing else. And show me, sorry, you can continue that.
Yeah, so what makes me pretty hopeful about Richa is that, definitely number one, that we have seen her play those shots in the test. So definitely she has the capability, and she is a good power hitter. So it's imperative for us to either use her either in the top of the order. I definitely feel her opener's position can be a great one for her, or maybe in that number 5 kind of a slot.
Interesting. I'm also very excited to see sort of, how she sort of builds on this and goes from strength to strength. It is definitely very, very, very crucial that she will play a very big role for India, to say the least, going forward, especially in the upcoming T20 World Cup as well. Where, like I've continued to maintain my stance, I have very few good players of spin. I'm not saying Richa herself is a good player of spin per se, but she's one of your smarter players in general, smarter batters. She understands her limitations. She understands how to play around with the field. She knows what shot needs to be brought in, and that is very crucial, especially at a tournament like the World Cup. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how she goes about her business there. We always see 7 for 15 says Vasant Narayan, and I just realized we haven't taken Tiger Rose's comment. I just displayed it. Guys, say something about her. She's made only 90 runs in the last 10 innings. Something's got to go. My goodness. That's just barely missed the leg stump, and it's not been given a wide as well, I guess, because she shuffled across. Barely missed the leg stump by inches. Who is Tiger Rose talking about? There's Shefali, there's Harman. I'm not sure. Like 90 runs in 10 innings, is it Harmanpreet?
Yeah, even I'm wondering, is he referring to Deepti or?
Yeah. Okay, he's referring to Deepti. I guess that's what Vasant also says. Is it a sorry state of affairs that we have so many batters out of form at the same time that you're struggling to think, bhai, who's the batter? My goodness. Deepti's really riding her luck here, but it's clear that she's come here with the intention of trying to go for those boundaries, and that's all I'm looking for. The execution side of it might go alright, you might not get it right, which is fine. But agar intent hi nahi dikhaoge, to bhai kaise chalega? But yeah, 15 of 7 6 quickly, it's also become 15 of 12 with 5 consecutive dot balls. Let's hope she gets it right soon now. There's also Richa on the other end. Yeah, it's very interesting right now. 13 overs done, 84 for 4. India slowly sort of inching towards that 7 runs per over rate. Let's hope they can get to 150, 160 somehow. It'll be great. It'll be great to see that. Deepti has a personal agenda to prove CDC panel wrong, says Santa Nicos. Yeah, I mean, talk about being narcissistic, I guess. That's all I'll say, and let it be. Oh, wait, Tiger Rose is talking about Harry. Deepti in parallel universe has learned the reverse sweep and become the best all-rounder in history of women's cricket. Yeah, take us also to that parallel universe. Sanjay and... Okay, that's in no women's land, I would imagine.
Very poor shot.
Yeah, 2 runs. I'm guessing she was just trying to clear the infield there, but yeah, could have done better though. He is talking about, he or she is talking about Harry, sorry. So yeah, 90 runs in 10 innings. I didn't know that's how hopeful her run of form had been recently. But yeah, again, it goes on to show it's not the greatest of signs ki we're not sure who the batter is when we say form mein nahi hai. And secondly, yeah, show me. You'll rule as our resident Mumbaiker, so to say. Oh man, shot, but straight to cover. We are talking about the MI skipper here, to say the least. But again, woeful run of form. How do you look at this? Like, what do you do? Because, of course, dropping her is not an option. So, what changing a position? Do you think something like that might help? Probably giving her a promotion, batting her up the order.
Unfortunately, I mean, not really unfortunate, but yeah, the kind of batter she is, as Neha mentioned before, I think that middle order position is somewhere where she fits in absolutely like a hand in a glove. So honestly, I don't see any other option for her apart from really working on that form and getting it back. Uh, Thankfully, there's WPL and there's MI, which I feel that can be really good for her.
Interesting. I'm also trying to think like where do I stand with this, but in the meantime, I can let Neha. Ah man, why was that left? Anyways, yeah. What do you think about Harry and her sort of form, and how do you think can she sort of get herself out of it? Because like we discussed, do you think it is something technical? Like given how she's been getting out, is there any pattern?
Yeah, I mean, there is a pattern, but then again, I think what Harman's problem is it's not like a quick fix solution could really solve it. I mean, ideally, is that a pound? Okay. Yeah, so ideally, we would like to see her, have a good run in like international cricket. But if she's not, definitely, domestic cricket can be the way to go. But I think this also kind of underscores the point of how India's batting is very heavily reliant on certain individuals to chip in, right? Now, the likes of Smriti Mandana is a household name. You want her to step up every single time. Now you have Jemima who's come into the party. I mean, 2023 was her year, like, no doubts on that. So, again, it goes to show how we are dependent on certain batters to get. So, that kind of overshadows how a lot of our batters are out of form. Now, when there's a collective failure, I think that's when, you're able to, like, nitpick and be like, this person is out of form. Like, it's like collectively not working out for us. But to answer this Harmanpreet question, I think a change in mindset is needed. First, we need to acknowledge that, hey, there is a problem. I understand I'm the skipper, but I have to take proactive steps to, come out of this vein of form. Even if it means playing domestic cricket, by all means, she should definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like even I'm not too sure to be honest because again she's the skipper of the national side and this isn't similar to like if people want to sort of draw comparisons and say Virat Kohli was also in a similar loss of form, but again I beg to differ. I don't think it's the same case. It's not two similar situations. Even when Virat was sort of supposedly out of form, it was just him being a victim of his own standards, a prisoner of his own standards. He wasn't probably getting those stunts, and all that social media discourse was around him getting the 71st stun and whatnot. He still averaged in excess of 40. He still consistently got those 40s and 50s and 60s and whatnot across formats, of course. Not the case with Herman because it's been a while. I'm trying to think of her last impactful knock. She did score a 50 in Bangladesh, and she also sort of did well in the semi-finals against Australia in the World Cup. So that's two impactful knocks in a year. I know small sample size and we don't play a lot of games and all of that. Agree, but even then you would expect a lot more from your premier batter, right? Show me.
So I think if I have to draw a comparison, I would probably from the men's cricketer side, I'll probably draw in a comparison of Ajinkya Rahane. How Ajinkya Rahane actually used.
Sorry, have
Okay,
to.
go on.
We'll get back to that, but geez, that actually looked close to me, and sort of reminded me of that Alana King delivery to Richa Ghosh in the third ODI, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, they've chosen. They've taken a review against the run of play. Like, was that intentional? Just trying to surprise everyone because it seemed like they decided not to go for it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lee Perry just shows the T sign. All I have to see is if the ball's pitched outside like some because it seems eerily close. If that isn't the case, Gautam Nayak, we will take your comment. Let's just wait and watch what's going to happen here. That's this seemed a bit close, and Deepti Sharma in the meantime has played 6 consecutive dot balls right now. 15 of 7 से 15 of 13 पे भी पहुंच गई है अभी. It is high time she starts scoring. Okay, that's pitching outside leg. That's pitching outside leg. Or else she was gone for all money. Impact umpire's call. So my prediction: pitching outside leg. Impact umpire's call, hitting the stumps. So yeah, that's yeah. That definitely looks to be not out for sure. But yeah, Nihal, let's just take Gautam's comment here. He says, if someone plays 5 dots in a row, they don't deserve to be in the T20 team. It doesn't matter how quickly they're striking before that. You should never play 5 dots in a row. Jeez, man. Gautam, come on, yaar. Matlab, that's a hard taskmaster. Like, bhai saab, matlab, I'm just taking a second or two to sort of process that ki khelo hi mat. बस खेलना ही छोड़ दो interesting.
Considering
You
the
agree with that?
performance
Wait,
from our batters,
how's that pitching in line? And how's the impact in line? What? Dude, no. No. I really need to see the replay. No, it doesn't seem that way, yaar.
दूसरा बॉल दिखा रहा है.
Photoshopped.
Even when I saw the replay, it didn't seem that way. It seemed like half of the ball was pitching. Jeez. Oh my goodness.
This is a big wicket, guys. There's no coming back. We're like halfway through our batting.
And it's Richa Ghosh. It's the one player who's actually doing well, and of course she also ended her innings with a strike rate of 121. Both of them had clearly slowed down. Like Santi Cruz, mentions last 2 overs, they just couldn't get the runs coming in, and it sort of clearly had an impact, in terms of Richa Ghosh's dismissal. But I really want to see the replay on that. I genuinely don't think it's out even now. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's take Gautam's comment here, Neha. What do you make of that? Because Santi Cruz also seems to be agreeing with him there. It should be an unsaid rule, is what he goes on to say. Okay, interesting.
I think my take on this would be there's no rule book, right, that says if you play like 5 dots in a row, you have to be thrown out of the team and they don't deserve to be a part of this T20 side. So I don't think that's the case, because even I think with Virat Kohli's, like giving an example from men's cricket, like when Virat Kohli was slotted right at the top of the order for RCB, we know he's the kind of this anchor player who takes his time to settle in. People had problems with that as well. They're like, he should not take dot balls. He should, keep redefining his game. And that's how he remodeled his game to a lot of singles, doubles, and we saw a lot of these boundaries that eventually started coming in, which is great. So I think even in like the T20 game, someone is taking
once again, how is that impact in line? Kya chal raha hai bhai? How is that impact in line? Even Richa Ghosh seems to be having, I don't know if that was a wry smile or if that was just disappointment, sort of trickling down her face, if I were to translate it directly from Hindi. But I'm not sure that was out, man. I'm not sold on that decision. And Deepti Sharma plays her 7th consecutive dot ball. So that's 15 of the first 7 balls and 0 of the last 7. Jeez, man. Yeah. Same old story repeating itself yet again. But yeah, sorry, Neha, you can continue there.
Right, yeah. So even with like Virat Kohli's, when he was asked to open the innings for RCB, we saw that dot balls and all creeping in. Then he remodeled his game in such a way that he's getting a lot more down the ground type boundaries, running quick singles and doubles. So even though he's getting those dot balls, he's trying to compensate that with other aspects of his game. So I feel like even like the women can actually take a leaf from that book of trying to, if not always get boundaries, try to keep those singles and doubles. Because I think even when Richa and Deepti were batting, there were at least like 1 or 2 occasions where they could have gone for that single, but Deepti was like, no. And I don't understand the mindset, because you're playing against Australia, each run counts. So what is stopping you from running that extra run? Because run out ka khatra is always there, but that doesn't mean you're not trying at all, right? So that proactive thinking, if you're not able to get boundaries, try the other route, is something that can be considered. Yeah.
And show me in terms of Deepti the batter, because people clearly have a lot more opinions there. You are wasting resources if you're playing dots. Singles and doubles are okay. I'm not asking for boundaries. At least do some strike rotation. If you can't rotate strike, you are denying the other batter resources, is what Gautam Nayak has to say. Again, logically, it does make sense. We can't sort of dispute that. But yeah, where do you stand when it comes to Deepti, the T20 batter?
I'll not take a dig at Deepti per se here, but yeah, I completely agree with Gautam's comment that the rotation of the strike will be primarily important here, because otherwise you're just eating up the balls and not really creating any impact as such. So yeah, definitely that rotation of strike. If you're not able to really clear those boundaries, are definitely required. And I think that's where the fitness factor will somewhere come in. Uh, it just feels that we are not as great runners, or that kind of restricts us from taking those chances, or gives us that confidence that a particular run can be taken at a point of time. So yeah, I think it's a culmination of a lot of things, but yeah, it's definitely not great to see, at least not the rotation of strikes.
Definitely, and with sort of a fair bit of batting still to come, with anywhere between 3 to 4 batting options left, I'm not sure if dot balls, if any dot ball would sort of help calm my nerves right now, because you can't, because we're done with 15 overs. The score is 91, or rather 92. Sorry, 92 for five. Neha, 150
Also, here
still
you see
up to grab.
we have a left and right hand combination. Unless we kind of work running between the wickets, we are hardly extracting any advantage
He's
out of it.
leaning edge, okay. Goes nowhere, of course. But yeah, I agree with you that the left hand right hand combination makes sense only if both the batters are sort of proficient enough to be able to rotate the strike and all of that. So the beauty of that left hand right hand combination is, lies in the fact that if they are able to rotate strike, then it sort of really messes with the bowlers' lines and lengths. अगर दीप्ति शर्मा एक ही एंड से 6 बॉल खेलेगी, फिर दूसरे एंड से हरमन 6 बॉल खेलेगी, it sort of nullifies the whole point of having a left hand right hand combination. So yeah, Neha, in terms of predictions again, let's get both of your predictions out now. 5 overs to go, 92 for three. Of course, we are already 3 balls into the 16th over as well. 94 for five is what the score is right now, at least according to my broadcast. Neha, 150 still a likely chance.
See, I think the one positive that I'm taking from the situation right now is we are at least at a run rate of 6.2. So this is looking somewhat better. If we can just up our game a
It's a
little,
free
it's not
hit.
a
It's a
no
free
ball.
hit. The siren's gone
Yes.
out. Yep, it's a front foot, no ball. And Neha, you can carry on. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. So right now India is striking at like 6.2. So if they can just elevate that gameplay, I hope Pooja Vasarkar can hit a boundary. Yeah, that's not a boundary. Yeah, not being able to make the most of these free hits is also going to cost India a lot. So yeah, to answer your question, I think realistically India can get probably around that 140 mark if they can just elevate their batting. Pooja Vasarkar can tonk some big ones, and please get Shreyanka in next. I really want to see her get at least a good 2 overs, not those last 3 balls. They वो नहीं चलेगा. Just give her a bigger go, with the bat. Yeah.
Agree with you there, and it's not going to be any easy, definitely. And I just wanted to take Santi D. Cruz's comment here. He says, "See the strike rate of the top order batters in today's game. The pitch is not that bad. It's slow. Absolutely ridiculous," is what he goes on to say. I'm just trying to add a bit of masala to make it sound very, very, very gossipy and yeah, page 3-esque. But Shomi, let's start with you there on this one at least, because again, we saw in the first T20I as well, it wasn't easy to bat in the first innings, especially in those first 6 to 10 overs. Pretty much been the case today as well. So, do you agree with what Santia has to say, or do you disagree with him there, or disagree with the person there?
I think, yeah. I mean, the pitch definitely, the conditions definitely has a role to play, and the statistics are way too out loud, to give us that kind of a conclusion over and above the entire number of matches played, all the matches that have been played in this venue. There is a higher, higher win rate with the chases. So we can't deny that, but yeah, considering that we knew that this is gonna come, how did we really prepare ourselves to brace up this challenge is something that any of the teams should have thought in this particular occasion.
Definitely, and Neha, again, in terms of India's batting, we've spoken about it a fair bit. We will continue to speak about it. But let's also talk about Australia's bowling, because again, it's been top notch. They've hardly given away deliveries. There was that 10 ball phase, so to say, where they gave away five boundaries, two of which were of edges. So again, we'll also have to account for that as well in terms of Australia's bowling and how in control they've been, and again a far cry from what they were in the first T20I, where they seemed very wayward, very inconsistent. Again, we'd spoken about this, that they will come back hard at us. Clearly, this is a reflection of that.
Certainly, because Australia is the kind of team, they have off days like once in a while, and it's a blessing in disguise for the other team. But we know the kind of side they are, right? They were always going to come back stronger, and this is clearly a reflection of that. And even I think this brings up this whole discourse of us batting first, right? Where do we stand on that? We have a World Cup in less than a few months later. This is the only series we are playing before that. And if our batting first is going to look like this, I'm not feeling very confident. That means we are again relying very heavily on the toss, right? Because if we are better chasers and we're not, able to bat that well in the first innings, I don't know what kind of message we are trying to push. So, do we need to again look at our domestic circuit, try to, get some players from there, but again, just getting them fresh onto the international circuit, plug a few gaping holes right now. Is that the right strategy? So right now it just looks extremely concerning that batting first we are struggling so much, right?
Definitely, and sort of just to add to that in terms of the batting and the lack of boundary scoring, because almost every shot seems to be going to the fielder. There's this seems to be very, very, very sort of disconcerting to say the least. Oh man. And a direct consequence of this has been those risky singles they've been taking. What's with that? Because in the last 3 overs, I've seen at least 4 potential run-out opportunities where Deepthi or Pooja or Richa or all three of them have had to sort of throw in the dive. Like, I'm not sure if that's the way to go about it. You are in the 17th over, you need runs. And when I say runs, I'm not talking about singles or doubles here. You can't rotate strike now. Like, again, Neha, like, what do you make of this? Like, why are this going for singles? Why have we scored just 3 runs of the first 4 balls in the 17th over when without sort of really going for any boundary scoring shot? No attempts also being made.
See, I think because they're not able to get boundaries, it's just a desperation to get any runs on the board. So you go with those risky singles, right? So I think that seems to be the only mindset, because the way Australia has, kept their field, like all the fielders in that inner circle have all like gone back, and they don't have any, slow over penalty rate penalties or anything. So, they've set their field in such a way that they're actually stifling runs, and it's that out. Oh my
Also, I
God,
think
okay.
the lengths are pretty impeccable. I mean,
Fair.
just see, they're hardly giving out anything.
Yeah, and Pooja also throws out a reverse sweep there, and they've gone for yet another review. And Alisa and Georgia Warham there seem to be having some fun in the middle, to say the least. I'm not sure what to make of it. Let's just sort of take a few more questions while we wait for the review to sort of happen. Chandra24 says, I didn't see India step out in confidence today despite a win under their belt. India seems more comfortable chasing a target rather than setting one up. What do you think? Neha already seems to be in agreement with what the comment has to say. Do you agree with that? Or do you also have to sort of say, I mean, how much of it also has to do with, BY Patil, the stadium, the venue, because of how chasing friendly it is?
See, Akshay, I think after a point we really have to, let go of this excuse of conditions, being too challenging, or we not being able to adapt to it. Because if your visiting team is able to perform so well, what is going wrong with us? We are hosting these matches, and you've played a fair set of matches here, right? So I think it boils down to the question of how well are you able to adapt to these conditions. But to answer this question, I suppose we are better at chasing a total, because there's the pressure ki we have this set total to chase. But batting first, it has been a very dismal show. I mean, we are not mincing words, which is true of the entire discussion so far. The lack of boundaries is hurting us, and I think that is out. Oh
Seems
yeah,
pretty close, to be honest.
it is
And
touching
yeah,
50%.
yet another successful review. That's, yeah, yet another decision overturned. And yeah, Pooja has to go, and continues to be the case that Deepthi from one end is not able to strike, and players from the other end keep getting out and a bit to up the ante. I'm genuinely, yeah, I lost the words. The only thing I'm looking forward to now is I hope it's Priyanka Patil who walks in. Please tell
Exactly.
me it is her and not Amanjot Kaur. Again, no disrespect to Amanjot Kaur, but yeah, Shriyanka
It's
deserves to sort
Amanjot.
हटाओ यार ये मतलब बंद करो मुझे दिखाओ कुछ मूवी ये जियो सिनेमा में क्या है, मेरे को पता भी नहीं है. Anyways, let's take a few more comments while we
No, but
wait.
I mean, one more thing to add to Neha's point. Yes, I know that India has been better chasers, and there's no hiding behind this fact that we haven't really set a target well. But also coming to DY Patil, this is a glaring fact that is coming up time and again that this is a condition which is much better for chasing. Now, if this is happening over a period of like a 14 games, of which literally 10 of them have been one chasing, and there was only one tie, then isn't it also something that the pitch curator should look at? Isn't it something also that that we need to look into the conditions and make the toss a little less of high of significance? So
Interesting. Sorry, you were saying something? I'm sorry, I'm at a loss of words because Deepti Sharma has once again attempted a slog, and yet another unsuccessful attempt at a slog, to sort of put it more succinctly. And yeah, for a second I even completely blanked out. What were we talking about? अबे सब कुछ छोड़ दो भाई, मैं तो चलता हूँ. At least just get some rest in before the Monday blues kick in, because come on, this is not the kind of performance I was hoping for. And that's yet another single. Oh my goodness, it's
I'm going back to work tomorrow after 14 days of holiday. So yeah. Anyway,
yeah, not the greatest way to end your holidays. I would assume. Clearly not. Because, yeah, it's 15 of 7. Like, I can't forget, because I kept sort of bringing that out again and again. She scored just 6 runs of the next 14 balls. I mean, undoing all of the good work done in the beginning. And, yeah, okay, Amanjot, nice flick. That's a 4. Our first 4 in over 5 overs, at least, if I'm not wrong. Let me just get that confirmed, because I don't think since that 10
yeah,
ball
I guess
phase,
the
it
12th over, the last four was hit. No, sorry, the
Gee,
13th.
yeah, 13th, 12.1 to be precise. So, yeah, it's been 5.2 overs. 2 overs. Oh my goodness, this is just crazy, man. Crazy. Not something I was also expecting. Let's
Cricket.
take a few more questions. And yeah, Neha's reaction almost gives it away. It is a catch. She's pulled out to mid off. Of course, Talia Migrada, number 32, not forgetting
This is
that, because she keeps taking those catches. Um, Okay, Santini Cruz. Amanjot did what we expected from Pooja and mainly Deepti. The intent, man. Agree with you there. Of course. Said it too early. I'm sorry, Santa. You did speak too soon. क्या करे अभी? Yeah, we will of course take a few more questions, because I don't think अभी मैच का क्या ही बचा. अभी बस श्रेयांका बची है. बस वही देखना है.
And look at the way they lose control of the shot. I mean, the only guy I have seen play good shots single-handedly is Rishabh Pant,
yeah.
and this is not the way to kind of.
I just don't know, man. I genuinely don't know what to make of this. Like,
They
to be
just
honest,
lost control of the shot in between.
but right now, like, how much of like अमनजोत कौर को हम लोग कितना बोले? Number 8 में आ रही है. Like, isn't it the first 7 batters' responsibility to ensure that your number 8 does not have to do too much? So yeah, it reminds me of one of
एक तो
those
मुझे
games
यही
that
समझ में नहीं आता है कि T20 गेम में सारे विकेट्स गिर कैसे जाते हैं.
हम
मतलब
बैटिंग
this is
में बोल तो रहे, बट नहीं, अभी आ तो गई है श्रेयांका पाटिल. लेट्स जस्ट सी कि क्या होता है. This is a very interesting question, by the way, from Aniruddha Statsman as well, of course. With Jemmy above her and Deepti below to arrest the collapse, could Harman take the Rohit option of taking the attack to the opposition? She's going nowhere with her approach right now. Neha, let's start with you on this. What do you make of that?
I mean, it's a fair shout, like considering Harman is in that kind of form she is. But then I think even the arsenal of shots that Harman has, we've seen how she usually resorts to that sweep, which kind of, does not work well for her all the time. And she has that cover drive. But besides that, I can't think of that, game changing or game defining shot that Harman has. So even if she takes the attack to the opposition, I want her to do it in a situation where, there has been a platform set, or the other batter around her is also trying to build the innings. That's when she can really unleash that sort of a game. But then I think even if you look at the numbers here, like at home she's really struggling. The strike rate also seems to be like below 100, right? So it's
I'm
again
sorry. I'm
concerning.
sorry. I have to cut you there. Did you see that audacious attempt by Shriyanka Patil to sort of reverse? I'm not sure what to call that. Reverse hoik that past third man, but the ball just never really arrived. Just never really arrived, and you can't blame Shriyanka there. Like, I don't know. Like right now, I know the surface is sort of playing a bit too two-paced, But do you think the surface is going to play like this throughout? Because at least in the last game, we saw the surface improve a fair bit after the 10 over mark. That's not really been the case today, right? Or has it just been the Indian batters who've not been sort of up to the mark today?
I think the Indian batters have certainly not been up to the mark today, and like the scorecard right now on our screen is clearly giving us a reflection of that. And I think we may not even be able to get a score of like 120, and Australia is going to come in, make the most of the conditions, and probably chase it down. अरे ड्यू से तो उनको बिल्कुल फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा because they will get on top of our bowlers because you don't have a total to defend, right? I think that is. Oh, is that a wicket?
Oh man, tell me it's a wicket.
Just dot balls at the moment.
Straight to cover, boundary. Come on, boundary, manifesting it.
Boundary.
Did I manifest it? Oh yeah, I
Boundary.
did manifest it. Chalo. Finally, a boundary after ages. After ages. It's maybe because she realized her strike rate had dipped below 100. She was like, थोड़ा 100 के ऊपर उसको पहुंचा देते हैं. उसके बाद अपन chill करते हैं. 21 of 22 is what she was at. 25 of 23 right now. After that boundary, finally is able to connect a sweep. And yeah, gets a boundary in the fine leg region, of course. Oh my goodness. Let's take a few more comments. SS98, of course, says Deepti Sharma ahead of Amanjot and Shriyanka is shocking. Yeah, I want to sort of give in those reactions, but right now I'm just too sort of down. I feel I've mentally checked out after. Oh my goodness, straight to point, straight to cover. It's almost like that's her objective. Like someone told her कि fielder के हाथ में ball डाल के दिखाओ बस. Oh man, it's yeah. I wish it was one of those days, but these days are becoming too often and frequent with her. Is that edge? Okay, it's not fine enough. And yeah, that's a single, of course. Did any of you all expect this match to turn out this way after the first game? Show me, definitely not, right?
Definitely not, but we knew that Australia will come in all guns blazing. So this kind of a good bowling, I think that was very much expected. And once India lost the toss, we were still hoping against all our inner voices and being very optimistic about it that we were talking about 170. So yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely.
what a shot, man! What a shot! Remind me again. Why is she batting at number 9? Just remind me. Can someone please remind me some? Can someone please convince me? Why? Why? Like why, man? Oh, what a shot, yeah! It just yeah. This girl is
Actually,
something.
you should just keep say. I mean, clearly we have seen a few instances where the team might have heard CDC. So you should just keep telling and hammering in this fact that in a T20 setup.
Shot! Oh,
Wow,
man,
wow,
but okay, it's still this
still a good one.
this yeah. This is what we are expecting. Intent again, execution can go alright, which is what I was willing with Deepthi as well. She got a couple of boundaries of edges. She could have potentially gotten out. That's fine. You getting out trying to hit is fine. You're not attempting a shot at all in the fear of getting out isn't. Like, what's the point of you coming in at number 6, number 7 and playing in the final 4 overs if you're not going to attempt these shots? Oh my goodness. I sound like a broken record right now because this is just getting to me, but she connected those 2 shots. So clearly the surface isn't as tricky as, Deepthi is making it out to be. Like the way Deepthi is playing, it makes you wonder, okay, this is probably a minefield at the Chepauk or something. No, that's not the case. This is the DY Patil Stadium, the same DY Patil Stadium. That's our 137 run opening stand last game. Oh,
And just
man.
adding on to your point, now she has faced 25 balls and she's just gotten 26 runs. Now, this 25 balls, I think, just like the second most number of balls that each of the batters have faced. So, what is causing that blockage of runs? Like, why aren't you
Oh,
experimenting
5
more?
wides. Are those 5 wides?
Oh, I
Yes,
hope.
5 wides.
Yes.
Chalo. Some bonus. Some bonus. Deepthi has decided ki boss, I'm just going to go for those switch hits. I'm guessing it's because of the field placements. But yeah, chalo bhai. Chalo, good start. Good start. Potentially 135 from here, guys. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that seems like, defendable total, so to say.
Definitely. Let's start with the Shriyanka on strike. 6 balls to go. How many runs in this over? 5 have already come of it.
Is there a
Okay.
cat? Oh, dropped by Kim Garth.
Oh,
Ah,
tell me they ran two and not a single.
I think they
Oh,
ran it too. Triyanka's
yeah.
back on strike. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's the result we needed finally. Chalo. Yeah, how many runs? How many runs? Come on, show me. Let's start with you. कितने run आ रहे हैं भाई इस over में?
यार एक चौका एक छक्का पकड़ लो और
Nice. Assume तो कर लिया आपने कि भाई चौका एक छक्का तो आ ही रहा है कहीं ना कहीं से तो कम से कम एक तो आ ही रहा है. But yeah,
चलो at least a 10 run.
ball यार, that's a ball. Yeah, 7 तो already आ चुका है. But has any player across genders, across teams excited you so much? Like, I don't know when was the last time I was this excited. And I've seen a lot of players. I've been watching cricket like a maniac for the better part of the last, I would say 20, okay, not 28 years, when I was 8 years old, so 2006, so 17 years. I've never been this excited. Never. Just never. Like, I don't know. There's something about, I don't know what it is. So I want to know from the two of you as well. Like, what is it? Is it Shriyanka, the player? Is it just me, for example?
I think they've
There's
all.
something about her character, like she just brings in so much of positivity. It's just her character, her demeanor, all of that. Everything comes together.
Oh, nice attempt. दो भाग ले, दो भाग ले, दो भाग. नहीं भाग रहे. Never seen you this happy. I'm guessing this is a comment at me. Sure, thank you so much. Just wait till RCB wins something. You'll see me a lot more happier. So you don't need to worry about when will I be this happy. Yeah, but no man, this is 3 balls, 9 runs is what Melville says, and Sante, of course, goes on to say, I would have never texted again if it was out. First Puja, now it could have potentially been Shriyanka. 125 for 7 right now. 2 more balls to go. Another bounty to somewhere. Kahin na kahin se. Come on. Is that a 4? Is that a 4? That is a 4. Chalo. DT gets a 4. Yeah, 135, potentially 6. Neha, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. One ball to go. I think Deepthi can attempt a 4 or a 6, get us past that 130 mark, something to defend, something on the board, and the bowlers won't be, phased by the situation. And yeah, even Alisa Healy, right? The throw she did in that previous ball, I thought she was like just throwing it at Shreyanka. What is happening there? Oh, is that run two, run two, run two?
I'll have to ask our social media team to clip that. Alisa throwing the ball at Shriyanka. Nice. That makes us a very juicy gossip for sure. Did they run too?
Also, it is very fast. Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
I think it was a run out.
Like, I don't know the bails that were dismissed. Was it with the ball in hand? I just didn't understand what happened. It just seemed too casual. So at least ek run to aaya, which means we've definitely touched 130. I'm saying definitely touched 130 as if it's 180, but clearly not the case. How many runs short are we right now on the surface? Neha, let's start with you on that.
So I think at the start of our discussion, I had predicted a good total of 170 to 180. So I think India is definitely a good 50 runs short, and those 50 runs can be attributed to the fact that none of our batters, like Smriti Mandhana or Jemima or even Richa for that matter, were able to capitalize on their starts. Had they chipped in with those handy 20, 30 runs, that could have really been the difference. So India is definitely a good 50 run shot. I know that's like an overshoot, but it might really cost them today unless they can pull off, that type of a spectacular bowling performance like they did in the, first T20.
Show me agree with that 50 runs short, Bia, in terms of, pass score?
I think at least, even if I would have, considering that, we lost wickets early, maybe 170, 180 was a little long shot. But yeah, the situation where we were in, at least we should have gone up to 150, 155 odd. That was a bare minimal we should have gone up to. But yeah, what we have is what we have. Definitely need a gun of a bowling to defend this out.
This isn't going to be easy to watch, definitely, because 131 is what we'll be defending, but do you expect it to come in with the surface, expect it to become a lot more easier for batters? It's going to be one hell of a task, to say the least. Of course, we've got some stats as well in front of you. Ashley Gardner in T20Is since 2023. Before the WPL, 8 innings, 11 wickets at an average of under 14 and an economy of just about 6. And after the WPL, an average in excess of 30, 34.3 to be precise, an economy of 8.4, which is ridiculously high given how spinners sort of tend to be a lot more economical when it comes to the women's side of things. Wow, man, that's she's really sort of hit a lean patch there. I remember Ashes May she did sort of go for a fair few. I don't remember how did the WPPL go for her. Like I know she plays for the Sydney Sixers. Neha, how was her season there? Like has she been sort of consistently out of form throughout?
I think it was like a lot of inconsistent performance. Like some matches she played really well, while the others she didn't really play well. But I was also quite surprised, with these statistics, because after the Women's Premier League, like her average seems to have just randomly shot up so much. And she is that kind of a quality player. Having been slotted into that side also so early. So kind of very surprised with that start. Yeah.
I like how my statsman was also quick to chip in on that question in our private chat. He was like, it was bad. Bro, that's a period. It was bad, period. But yeah, 131 is what India need to defend in front of a packed crowd. I wish we sort of had a better performance just for the crowd's sake, because it's always good to perform in front of crowds. Uh, I would it be fair to say, or are we jumping the gun in terms of did the crowd also sort of play some sort of role? The occasion getting the better of them in terms of them playing in front of a packed crowd. Do you think that maybe could be? I mean, you think is that a possibility, or are we just sort of no thinking too much here, Shomi?
Yeah, I think you're just trying to get a little bit more excuses for them.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. I can't agree with that more. But yeah, in terms of the innings and how it panned out, of course, Kim Gart was one of the top players in terms of the performances. Annabelle Sutherland, of course, having 2 for 17. She also came up with a fantastic spell, including bowling those final overs. She really seems to have improved. Adeto was bowling now, so that's definitely going to make her a force to reckon with, in the upcoming WPL and of course the T20 World Cup as well. 6, 7, 8 months down the line, it won't be easy for sure. We do have Kim Gard's pitch map. Let us have that on. Neha, if we look at this in terms of the lengths she hit, do you think is there anything that India can also sort of take a leaf out of in terms of what lengths to bowl? What are you sort of seeing here?
Absolutely. I think we can take a leaf from the way Kim Garth is bowled, right? I mean, today coming in for Darcy Brown, she's been brilliant. I mean, her economy is just like 6.75. She's gotten those two crucial wickets. So perhaps India can, try to get those, balls in the length area and, tempt the Aussie batters to go after it. I think Pooja Vasikar would be great to, generate those sort of chances. And you could have Renuka Singh Thakur coming in, from the other end, trying to again, get those brilliant in swingers as well. Plus, we have Tita Sadhu, right? I hope she can also carry that vein of form from the first T20I on to the second one. It will be a test for her too, because we don't want her to be that sort of player, who's like a one-off player who's played well in this and doesn't show up in the second one. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for Tita Sadhu. I'm quite interested to see how she plays in this second innings. And again, India goes in with like a pace heavy attack, right? We have Amanjot Kaur, we have Renuka Singh Thakur, we have Pooja Vastakar and Tita Sadhu. So let's see, what skipper Harmanpreet Kaur is actually thinking of, to which end would be ideal. But yeah, excited to see Tita Sadhu and what she does with those lengths.
Fair enough. And talking more about, how the first innings panned for us, or rather panned out for us, again, Deepti Sharma, the batter, is going to be a pound point, of course, talking point, throughout the game, because we've spoken about this way too many times. And again, across formats, across both limited overs formats, that is, she's genuinely struggled to sort of get going. Show me again, this is sort of just a further confirmation, so to say, that Deepti, the limited overs format has a very limited role to play, when it comes to batting.
Kind of looking like that at the moment. Uh, but yeah, I mean, we really need to slot in more players. I mean, there are quite a few who's sitting out, as Neha have constantly mentioned. So yeah, I think those kind of decisions now need to be taken. I mean, get the right people in the squad.
Fair enough. And again, in terms of boxes to be ticked now, we spoke about this as well last time around in the second innings. What were we looking forward to? We'd spoken about the opening partnership then. We did get it right. So let's hope we sort of are able to manifest something good this time around as well. Nihan, let's start with you. What are some of the boxes that you want to be ticked this time around in the second innings?
I think definitely early wickets, because that's the only way you can tame an Aussie batting that's that deep. So, by the power play, if we are at least we have them like 3 or 4 wickets down, definitely India stands a chance to, defend a total that low. And I think, Tito Sadhu can be that kind of a person who gets those early wickets. Renuka Singh Thakur as well, right? So, yeah, it can be interesting if India can get those early wickets and try to, bowl a lot of dot balls, so to say, because Australia, we've seen like fitness wise, they're much better. They score those quick singles and doubles. So if you can curtail that run flow, I think India will be in a good space. But then the target really does not look that daunting. So even if Australia does end up getting a few dot balls, a few boundaries will again keep them in good stead, right? Because the required run rate is just 6.5 or so, and that doesn't seem really that daunting. So India will have to bowl out of their skin. So even if Tita Sadhu is bowling well from one end, we need someone to complement her well from the other end. And seeing how Pooja Vathrakar had a very like up and down sort of match in the last one, I think Renuka will be a good partner from the other end. But she also needs to get her line and length right if you have to challenge an Aussie side like this, right?
Fair enough, Shumi. So, do you see Renuka and Tita starting with the new ball today, or do you still think they'll stick to Pooja and then probably bring Tita's in for first change?
I think Titash and Renuka should be the ones that we should look at. Also, where like echoing what Neha mentioned about getting the early wickets, that will play a role. I do not see a quick 3 or 4 wickets getting down. I mean, considering how the pitch has played out the last time around. But at the same time, even if we can get a couple of wickets and also not let the Ellis Perry and Phoebe Litchfield partnership grow, because we have seen that time and again that that's a partnership that's growing and taking the game away. So to be very mindful of that, that's the second thing that I would want to have a checkbox done. Plus, India did come back well with the fielding last time. To stick to that will be the most crucial part, because today we don't have any score where we can leak out any kind of runs here and there.
Interesting. Both the teams are out. I mean, both the batters are out. The bowling side is out. They're done with the team huddle as well. And I was just wondering, like, for Harman, the skipper, especially given the kind of form she's in, like, how does she find it within her to sort of, be able to, just inspire the team, lead the team? Because there will, of course, be talks and chatted. Like, it plays on your mind, even if you are in a very secure setup. When you yourself aren't performing, it sort of plays a role, right? Like, I'm not leading the side by example and all of that. That definitely plays a role, right, Neha?
Yeah, and I think here, if Harman, the skipper, can really compartmentalize things, like, try to keep the skipper part away from, the batter, that would do her a world of good, because she's the kind of player who commands a lot of respect, right? Right from the domestic setup onto this. She's been in the Indian team for such a long period of time. You have young players, who look up to her. So in that sense, I don't think they would like be कि अरे skippery form में नहीं है, why should we listen to her? But I think even as players, you understand that even your skipper can have a lean patch, and we will still try to contribute our best to the team. So I think in that sense, compartmentalizing it would perhaps be the way to go for her.
Fair enough. And yeah, we have the first ball bowl. Renuka Singh Thakur, of course, starting off the proceedings for India. Cricket goes on to ask, of course, when was the last time Harman scored? We did speak about this. I do remember the 50 that she had in the Bangladesh series, where she did help us win that game. That was probably the last time. Not that India have played too many T20I, I suppose that. This is just the fifth T20I since then, and it's been over, 7 months? They played that series in July. And yeah, before that was Feb, when she did play well in that semi-final before her bat decided to give way to, another freakish sort of dismissal for her. Daniel M, meanwhile, goes on to say, India knows how to bat with the dew, only India doesn't know how to chase. Ooh, again, interesting. Like, show me harsh words.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, of course, there's some reality in it, but a little harsh.
Sorry. Definitely. Oh, Chandra 24 seems like Neha. Again, peas in a pod. Renuka takes care of Healy. Titas will take care of the middle order. Deepti cleans up the rest. Come on, guys, cheer up. जान पहचान का है क्या आपका चचेरा भाई, something like that, मेले में बिछड़ा हुआ भाई, ऐसा कोई, like इतना optimism कहाँ से ला रहे हो यार? This is coming from someone again, like, not that I'm very pessimistic, but I wish again, yeah, this is seems like wishful thinking at this point in time, but
No, Akshay, I think as experts, no, we are very cynical. We need the kind of optimism that Chandra has. He's like, Titus will take care of the middle order, Deepthi will clean up the rest. So yeah, I think we are simply worrying. Matlab,
of course, clearly we're simply worrying. Let's hope that's the case. Of course, we of course want something like that to happen. It'll be great to watch India win two back-to-back T20Is against Australia, because we've not done that since 2016. That's 8 years now, because we're already in
oh yeah.
2024. Almost cleaned Healy up. Went through the gate, unfortunately, barely misses the off stump. Oh man, that was some ball. That was some ball. A booming in swinger. Beaten Elisa Healy all ends up. She decided to leave it for some reason. Oh man, that she could have paid a huge price there. Unfortunately, not to be the case. Come on. Maybe a wicket is somewhere close by. Let's hope that is the case. We are waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for the wicket to go at least. Ah man, survive.
Another thing India will have to avoid is extras, because when you're defending a total this low, giving away extras and freebies is just letting the game slip away. And yeah, that's going to be costly, I suppose.
Oh, 100%, 100%. It is going to be costly. Meanwhile, yeah, this isn't. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm looking at Amol Mazumdar's sort of pensive look. I'm just trying to think, like, if again, let's assume the worst. India go on to lose this game, okay, and primarily because of the way we batted, not the bowling per se. What sort of changes would you be looking at? Show me, let's start with you. Come the 30-20I, it is going to be the decider as well. So you would want to field your best 11. But yeah, taking current form and sort of, the whole the playing 11 combination into consideration, what sort of changes would you be looking at?
I'll probably look at replacing an Amanjot. Maybe, I mean, that's the only weak link that I can think of. Of course, Deepthi with the bat is not yet there, but she definitely offers a lot with the ball. So yeah, I mean, is there a way to slot in a Kanika Ahuja? So I think those are the kind of things I'll probably look at. But also coming to this particular game, whether India will lose or not, I mean, the win probabilities for India will be a lot lower, of course, with this kind of a total. But at the same time, I just want to see them put up a good fight, and then whatever happens. So yeah.
Fair enough. Those are some interesting changes. Kanika Ahuja is definitely a name I have been looking forward to watching. Unfortunately, has not gotten a lot of game time, and in the game she's played, she's hardly got into bat. I remember in the Asian Games waking up hoping that I'll get to see her bat. पहले दो मैचेस तो हुए नहीं और जब मैच हुआ भी तो वो खेली नहीं. Neha, what about you in terms of changes? Anything you're looking at in particular?
I think quite a similar one to Shomi, I think in place of Amanjot, you can definitely have Kanika come in. If not, if India thinks, hey, our batting is still going good, the experts will keep talking, I'd probably still want to bring in, oh, wow, okay. That was a good save. I'd probably still want to bring in, Minu Mani, right? I think she also offers that kind of depth to the Indian team. And Deepthi Sharma definitely should not come in at 6. It's just like it's not the move that you want to look at. So I think probably a reshuffling of that batting order would be important. But if someone has to face the axe, it would probably be Amanjot, because right now I don't see a lot of utility coming in from her place in that setup. So Kanika could be that X factor if she's slotted in for the third T20. But again, it depends on the approach that India wants to go for, right? Because series 1 all hoga, and do you want to bring in that change last minute just to go for the win? So again, it'll be eyes on the selection committee on this one.
Definitely eyes on the selection there, and Amol Mazumdar's reaction to that, potential missed opportunity was all of us. Oh man, had that catch been taken somehow, it would be great. It would have been great. But yeah, in terms of changes, definitely Kanika Ahuja for Amanjot Kaur is a very good shot, because we, like both of you, I do agree that there's not a lot of value that's being added there by her. Again, no disrespect to her. It's probably her position, and it's also the fact that her bowling is probably not penetrative enough at this level. And batting wise, yeah, I do sort of rate Kanika Ahuja a bit more than her. Also offers that bit of left-handedness, the bit of unorthodoxy that comes with it. It'll help us. So yeah, definitely something to look forward to in terms of what happens in the third T20I. Prediction time. Power play at the end of it. How much do you think? Do you think any wicket will fall? Let's start with wickets. How many wickets do you think will India get in the power play? Show me. Let's start with you there.
I'll hope for a couple of them. So maybe 2 wickets, somewhere around the similar kind of a score with which India was in, around a 30 odd, 34 odd. I think that will be a good space to be in. Vasant is saying zero.
Exactly, and I'm just thinking, okay, that's again optimistic for sure to say the least. Neha, what about you? How many wickets?
I think if a wicket were to fall, it would definitely be Alisa Healy because it looks like she's taking her time to settle in a bit. But I think Australia would at least aim for a score of like 33 or 34 at the end of the power play. To keep them in good mind space, chasing a total of that nature. But Titasav is bowling well. Just as I say that, she hits a boundary, so that did not age well on the live show. But yeah, I hope we can get a couple of wickets because that's the only way you can put pressure, right?
Definitely, that's the only way we can put pressure. There's no way, there's no point, trying to add on to the dot balls there. Tiger Rose, meanwhile, asks us, please, can you tell Harman's stats in 2023? So, Statsman, do help us out with that in terms of numbers in T20Is in 2023 for Harmanpreet. We'll have that in a bit. Tiger Rose, sorry for a second, I forgot who brought that up. We do have these numbers for you peeps. It's a home and away split, so you can definitely look at this as well in terms of how she's struggled to bat at home. In all fairness, I know the sample size is a bit low because she's only played 4 T20Is at home, but if you look at her numbers in 2023 in T20I, she scored at an average of 36 and a strike rate of 117 while playing away from home, and while playing at home she has an average of under 16 and a strike rate of under 100. So yeah, I mean, you can look at it any way you want. It also probably is a reflection of her poor form because she's been batting at home in the recent couple of months while she batted away, in the T20 World Cup and the Bangladesh series. Where did she have a decent knock or two? So again, this is in some sense a reflection of her recent rut in terms of her not being able to score runs. Meanwhile, yeah, another boundary went there in the second over. Ooh, Renuka starts strongly. Yep, it's sort of looking a bit too. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to sort of keep yourself motivated when knocks like these happen, when innings like these happen, because it almost seems written in the stars that what, Australia is going to come back, and the 9th of Jan will definitely see us face them in a decider. Yeah, not the easiest for sure, definitely not the easiest. The slip moves away. Again, spinner coming in, is that the potential option this time around? Because last time, of course, Titas and Renuka wreaked havoc. We saw Ashley Gardner also coming in early on in the power play, and she wasn't too bad with it. Deepti or potentially even Shriyanka in the power play. Neha, do you think any merit?
Yeah, definitely. I think they can really, enforce that wicket because Australia would not see that coming because last time around we had just the Pacers operating from both the ends till the power play, got over. So I think, bringing in Shriyanka at this stage would be interesting because although, we are saving her up for the death, I don't think the match will go on till there. Might as well, introduce that change right away considering how Australia is hitting boundaries at will right now. And Beth Mooney seems to have hit that one. So yeah, things going from bad to worse for India at the moment.
Yep. 20 for no loss, 2.5 overs done. Show me, what about you? Spin in the power play, introducing it early on. Do you think there's merit to that argument?
I mean, definitely yes. I mean, we can try it out. It's just that, like, we can just as well try it out and see what happens. I mean, the way it's going, nothing seems to be in favor.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like we sort of said, it's sort of hard to keep yourself motivated there when boundaries are coming in thick and fast. Is that another boundary? Of course, it is another boundary now. So 24 for no loss is what that boundary takes Australia scored to. Yeah, this is getting bad to worse very quickly for my liking as well. But another thing we need to look at, we spoke about, the fifth bowler conundrum for India and how they sort of struggled closing their innings out because of, how they conceded runs with those overs from Pooja Vasrikar and Amanjot Kaur. Do you think, someone like even a Harman or Shafali or Jimmy, some of those part-timers can come and chip in again, assuming the game goes on, till say the 16th, 17th over, and they need to bowl their fifth bowler as well. Neha, what do you think? Like, ooh, that swung away a bit, man. Interesting. Haven't seen her do that from around the wicket. Was very interesting to watch that. But yeah, Neha, in terms of bowling options potentially, would you still stick to Pooja and Amanjot as your first choice fifth bowling option, or do you want Harman also to probably roll her arm over?
Definitely. I think I'd want Harman to roll her arm around because quite an underrated bowler can get those wickets. I've always been surprised why she does not, bowl that often. And even with Shefali, right? Like she was good in the domestic circuit, got a few wickets. Again, we'll have to see the oppositions she got it against. But I think that can offer some variety, to the bowling attack as well because right now we are going a little pace heavy. Plus, we don't have that premier spinner. I mean, of course, you have Shreyanka and Deepti, getting in those wickets. But you're still missing the likes of, say, a Rajeshwari Gaikwad, Ekta Bish, and even, the likes of Poonam Yadav. So with this deficit, I think, giving Harman a go with the ball would do. And she just has to slot herself into the attack. She's the skipper of the team. So yeah, hopefully we get to see her bowl if this match goes on till then, that is.
That was a
Also,
very good
we saw Harman how Harman created that impact in the test match, right?
Yep.
Like wickets and brought
Alisa
brought
Healy,
back.
she got, yeah. Who can forget the throw back to Alisa
Yeah.
Healy and she had it all rattled and then she got her out plumb in front of the stumps. Yeah, good fielding effort. Again, a proper ball of energy there. Just comes running in, attempts the throw as well. Great to watch. Again, just trying to sort of pick at whatever sort of crumbs that's being thrown at us right now. Oh, Shreyanka has come into bowl, by the way. So they have gone for spin early on, like we were discussing. So that's interesting. Clearly an aggressive option, right? They want her to go for wickets and not really worry about the boundaries right now because it doesn't really matter, right, Nia?
Definitely, definitely. This looks like that proactive measure to get those wickets, and hopefully Shreyanka can stick to the template and get a wicket because I think that will really help lift India's morale on the field as well. And yeah, just really looking forward to seeing her bowl this spell. Starts with a dot, auspicious start.
Auspicious indeed. Yeah. Both of you, by the way, done with dinner?
No, I'm
Yes.
just about to go and pick it up.
Oh, of course. Neha is always like very clear कि भाई 7 बजे का है तो हम लोग 6 बजे खत्म करके बैठते हैं. I do agree with
Uh,
you. I prefer getting done. Oh my goodness, that's a missed stumping opportunity. And it's gone for 4 buys as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just pile on the misery, god damn it. Oh my goodness. Oh man, Richa, come on. This was a straightforward stumping opportunity. Gone begging. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hard. Wait, they've given it 4 runs. So that's a missed catch.
oh no.
Please don't give this a wide. She's shuffled. Oh man, she's given it a wide. He's given it a wide. Ah, come on. No, that was too close. Come on, they could have not given that a wide as well. She did shuffle. Yeah, it's hard. It is hard. Tiger Rose, meanwhile, says Renuka against RHP should be recognized probably even by giving 1 to LHB. Oh, interesting. That's a fair shout. Agree with you there. But yeah, it's not so easy to sort of keep a batter on strike, Agree with you. She's a lot more potent against right-handers, given that her natural sort of option is those in-swingers to the right-hander. Oh. She's definitely come up with 3 dot balls. Man, that was a missed wicket. I can't stop rowing. If oh nice man, she's also got the the one finger seam up delivery that we usually see, the likes of Imad Wasim bowl, Akil Hussain bowl. Interesting option that. Shabash, yaar. Bowling to your field. Come on. One more ball to go. I'm genuinely at a loss for words right now because of that missed opportunity. Because we spoke about how, bringing a spinner in could be that option. Neha spoke about how this is proactive captaincy because they are looking for a wicket here. Oh, man. Fielding coming to bite us at the worst possible time. Oh, man. Jemmy, please, yaar. Oh, no. They ran two. They ran two. Oh my goodness. I can't. This is just bad. And of all people, if Jemmy starts misfeeling, I just don't. I genuinely don't know
Yeah.
what to say. It's just hard. Yeah, and peeps, do please keep commenting, and we will definitely keep taking your comments. And we are trying our best to react, but it's hard. It's genuinely hard right now. We definitely are running on fumes because of those missed opportunities, especially. It would have definitely kept us motivated as well had we gotten that wicket or two. Oh man, it's very unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate.
And Australia just seems to be cruising, right? Look at their situation. They're 33 for no loss in 4 overs, unbothered by the asking rate. I mean, not that it was commanding anyways, but yeah, they're looking really good.
Definitely, I mean, they are sort of scoring in excess of 8 runs per over, well above the required run rate, which is hovering around 6.5. Right now, it's at 6.1 to be precise. But yeah, man, show me, क्या लगता है?
अब तो हो ही गया, अब तो मतलब हमारा पावर प्ले प्रेडिक्शन एक्सेट्रा सब कुछ गलत हो ही गया है, तो अब क्या ही और it's just I just hope somewhere a wicket comes and I mean the change of momentum can be somewhere just seeded up.
But Shami, उनका बैटिंग देखो, मतलब एक विकेट गया, also you have other people coming in to
अरे
seal the day.
वो तो पूरा entire उनका बैटिंग लाइनअप ही ऐसा है, बट सीड तो करो, like let's is that something, no?
Yeah, the Indian side clearly seems to be desperate. The way Renuka appealed for that wicket, oh my goodness, there was no way out. There was nothing. Harman, no, don't review that, please. The way Renuka sort of was begging for that wicket there, but yeah, unfortunately, nowhere close to sort of hitting.
It's too high.
Yep. Clearly high and probably even down the leg, to be honest. Third over already for Renuka, and Healy has found a way to deal with it. Definitely, she's found a way to deal with it. Not fluent enough once again, because there was that ball that sort of cut right back in and somehow managed to miss the off stump of Alisa Healy. She's flicked it now past mid wicket. Is that a two? Of course, it'll be a two. They will take one on Shafali's arm, because why not? Akshay, can India only make a game out of it if we take wickets in cluster? Of course, wickets are the way. Wickets are the way to sort of go about winning this game. Yeah, but if you don't, if your fielders sort of don't contribute, to the bowling, then it's going to be hard. You can only blame the bowlers so much. There was a clear opportunity there. You just can't not. Oh man, straightforward. Oh, just past the outside edge of Alisa Healy. Oh, bhai saab.
But Akshay, I think what's also very heartening to see is the crowds, right? They're like, every time the camera pans to them, the excitement. I think that is also great signs. Plus, the viewership right now in JioCinema is like at 63 lakh, which is still a good sign considering, the game is certainly going south for Team India. We still have fans who are invested to see, where this game goes. So I think if we had to take some positives, this definitely comes right at the top, right?
Definitely, I mean, it'll have to come right at the top because there's very little else to talk about in terms of the match, so to say. But I do agree with you there. It's very heartening to watch the packed stadium right now. Yeah, the shots and the visuals of the crowds and how crowded it is. It's great to watch. Also goes on to show that there is an audience, that there's enough of an audience there who wants to watch cricket. So that's not an issue clearly. So start pricing your tickets to make it more meaningful. Stop giving them for free and making it sound like you are giving a charity. So that's my that's the end of my rant for the day. Sorry. But this looks sort of very, very, very difficult. 5 overs, 36 for no loss, one more over to go. most likely Shriyanka will be coming back in. In the meantime, you can update us on the Senior Women's ODI Trophies proceedings. What happened today? What were the games like today?
Oh yeah, so today we did not have any matches. So they're playing every other day because it's 37 teams spread across five groups, right? So yeah, yesterday we did get to see some interesting matches. Of course, the Delhi versus Nagaland match where the 400 run win was procured.
She broke the record for the highest list day score by an Indian or highest list day score ever.
I think by an Indian only.
Okay.
Yeah, because that 242 was brilliant. Like I was watching the highlights, and she was really striking the ball well. Going after those poor Nagaland bowlers. But another interesting result was, I think, Pondicherry. Defeating Karnataka. Uh,
Karnataka. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that.
Like Asha Shobna coming to the party with a 5-4, and I was
Five.
like, brilliant stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, another bowler I genuinely loved watching in the first season, and yeah, I want to see more of her as well in the upcoming season. I actually wanted to ask you something about the tournament. So where's this happening right now? Is it in Pondicherry?
Yeah, so Group A matches like yesterday were happening in Pondicherry, and guess what? It was all washed out because it rained very heavily there, and the rest of the matches are happening in like spread across Delhi, and also we are seeing the matches spread across that way. Hopefully, bad weather does not come to spoil the party. And oh, is that a wide? Ah, it's a
Hey, come on, man. That's a close call. Come, अबे यार.
अबे यार.
मतलब भाई इतना तो दे सकता है ये मतलब वाइड के बिना तो चल सकता था यार. This and the wide that was given to Sri Lanka in the previous over as well. Both were contentious calls to say the least. Ooh. Was there a chance? Was that a chance for Renuka? I don't think it was way past
Yeah.
that, right?
Hmm.
But excellent shot that from Healy. Like shuffled
Yeah.
across. She knew what Elisa, Sri Lanka was trying to do there. And yeah, was up and about, and yeah, beyond Renuka's reach at short third man.
Definitely. And even Alisa Hiri, right? She seems to be coming into her own, getting those crucial runs, and already at 20 runs. So yeah, I think it should be a cakewalk for Australia from this stage. Ooh.
Definitely. Let's see what happens.
A
But yeah,
disappointing day. Hmm.
yeah, definitely a disappointing day. Like we sort of said, it's hard to keep yourself motivated with performances like these. So yeah, it's yeah. Basically, this is the Indian side, preparing me because अभी WPL फिर IPL और जिन साइड को हम सपोर्ट करते हैं उन पे थोड़ा मोटिवेशन कम ही रहता है देख के. क्या ही करे. Sports fan meanwhile says, is this the replay of the first match? Is that Australia is chasing this time? In some sense, yeah, right? Because again, we spoke about this. The only difference being that at least the first innings was a lot more scratchy by the Indians this time around. And we were talking about how, is it the surface or is it just, oh man, that could have been a potential run-out opportunity, I feel, had she held on to that. But again, I want to know, like, the way India batted throughout the first innings, we saw those couple of balls, that sort of stayed low, kept low, that just sort of moved away and all of that.
Oh yeah.
So I think that, maybe the surface is actually scratchy this time around. But yeah, the way the Australians have started, is it due? Is it the surface? What do you make of it? Similar to how the first T20 surface played out?
Kind of, in a way it is, but also Akshay is thinking of this, and I'm going to, share this out loud. Do you think this whole discourse around pitch and conditions is getting a little too much? Because see, the hallmark of a good team is to be able to excel in all conditions, right? Irrespective of how tricky it gets. Because again, looking at how Australia are visitors here, and we are the team that's hosting, we are supposed to be performing better, and we have played Australia in that 2022 series where although we lost 4-1, the matches were still like well contested, and we got to see some matches out of those games. So in that sense, do you think this whole discourse around pitch and conditions is getting for the lack of a better phrase, I'm going to say, out of control, and we are kind of using the whole fact that India is not being able to perform well and just attributing it to, oh my god, that's a misfield and a 4, to conditions? The disappointment.
Who was it at short fine? Was it Deepti Sharma?
I think it was Shefali.
Or was Shefali? Yeah. Oh
I think
man,
it was
and
her.
she has a smile on her face. Come on, please. यार मिसफील करके मत हंसो, गुस्सा आता है. मिसफील तो करो ऊपर से जब. I know, I mean it's hard, but man, this is difficult. This is very painful to watch right now. It's just hard. It's genuinely hard. I just don't know what to make of it. Can we give a fourth over to Renuka, by the way? I mean, of course, Melville's reaction. I mean, of course, after that. Tiger Rose, can we give a fourth over to Renuka? What do you make of that? Because you still think there's enough movement for her to sort of be in the game?
I think definitely we can give her a go, and she's already 3 overs in, been quite economical. So it's just about getting those chances. But I think it has been now given to Tita Sadhu, even though she had that tough first over. So yeah,
Yep. Let's see how Titas goes about it. Okay, not a bad start at all. Nicely bowled in the channel. So back to college now tomorrow.
yeah, it's a Monday back to college, and with sadness of India having lost the match. But I think excitement that the series will be poised at 1-all, and that gives so much context to the third T20 as well, right? If India goes on to win. But again, I think I just want to bring this point of the pitch and the conditions. Like, do you think we're fixating so much on that, using it as an excuse to, not look at the lacuna or the gaping holes that our team has?
See, is that sort of a low-hanging fruit that teams try to cling on to, when they don't perform well? Sure, that does happen. We've seen that happen time and again. But does that nullify the fact that it plays a role? No, of course not. I'm sort of not sure where I stand on this. Of course, I do agree with you that, that cannot be an excuse, because at the end of the day, if you are a cricket team, you are a cricket team, you're expected to win a game of cricket. There's no point talking about conditions and all of that. It's two teams playing on the same surface. My only concern is when the surface starts playing drastically different between the game and between the game, first innings or like second innings. That's where I sort of, I'm on the fence. I'm not sure where, again, what my stance on this is. I still love I fancy a low scoring thriller like no one else.
Fair enough.
I love, tricky pitches where batters have to grind it out and play themselves in and all of that. I love all of it. It's just that, just like in the first game today as well, the first inning was very difficult to bat. The second innings, it's becoming a lot more easier to bat, to say the least, making it a very toss dependent, sort of the result being too dependent on the toss. And that's where I sort of am not sure. Oh man, this is everything, of course.
But Akshay, as you answered this, it kind of brought this point in mind. Do you think it's time we, go to neutral pitch curators? Because if we are fixating so much on pitch and conditions and how the home team has, certain curators doing this, so do you think, largely depending on tosses for outcomes, because you see how that can play an important role. So maybe having like neutral pitch curators is the way to go, or do you think that will break the hegemony of home condition advantage?
But I feel it's too much of a logistical constraint. It's too much of a cost. Because you need to have, when you say neutral pitch curators, so India has what, like 50 stadiums, to say the least, 50
At least.
stadiums that's recognized by the ICC. So where international matches can be hosted. So for each of these 50 stadiums, you'll want at least like a couple of curators. And again, the problem with bringing in curators from outside, even the state or city, I'm not even saying, like when I say foreign, I'm not even talking about like a different country. Understanding how the soil works, understanding what the local conditions are, what the wind patterns are. These are those intricacies that sort of go into, in how the surface plays and all of that. And it sort of becomes very difficult for the curator himself or herself to understand. So that's why I'm not sure if neutral pitch curators could sort of come in quickly, understand, get a grasp of what's happening there. And I'm not sure how efficient is it going to be at the end of the day. Of course, I do get where you're coming from. It sort of helps reduce the extent to which teams try and maximize their home advantage. And we just saw in the recently concluded Cape Town test that sort of going overboard on that does not help. Just like we've seen it in Pune 2017, like Chennai 2021. So there are plenty of examples to sort of prove that. So I agree there is a problem, but I feel we need to come up with a better solution for sure. Bangladesh, of course, Chandra just goes on. I just saw Bangladesh and Chandra's comment, and that definitely is another prime example of how they've not been able to groom the next set of players, the next generation of players, because of the kind of surfaces they have and offer. So I feel we should come up with a better solution, and that's when I'd written this piece on tosses and the kind of impact they tend to have in results and what are the potential solutions to that. So I had suggested a couple of solutions, of course, thanks to what what I read online and what other people had to say, of course. By the way, my statsman also confirms that there are 42,000 people right now in the stadium. Wow, man, that's an achievement.
That's a
And it's
wicket.
is that a wicket?
Shreyanka took the catch.
That's
Yeah.
a good catch. That's a very good catch. Who was the fielder?
Shreyanka.
Of course. Who? Yes. Chalo. Finally, something to be happy about.
Also, Akshay, look at the equation. It says 80 needed of 77 balls, right? So if India can get a few more wickets from this stage, you can definitely put a lot more pressure on them, right? Chasing.
100%. And even if you look at the run rate, it's not like they've sort of gone way too ahead with it. 50
Yeah.
at the end of the seventh over. So it's not the worst. So it's good to watch that as well. So I'm hoping, it sort of comes good for us right now. And yeah, man, that's a very, very, very good catch. Just happy to see Shreyanka take that good catch. Show me. I hope you've gotten your dinner in as well. And did you see that catch?
I just saw it. And yeah, the bowling change worked, and definitely an incredible catch.
100%. And yeah, it is Alisa Healy who's out, of course, but it was Beth Mooney who received the reprieve of Sri Lanka's bowling. So I just hope she doesn't sort of, go on to make the most out of that reprieve. And going back to what we were talking about, Neha, we'll, of course, continue that since Tiger Rose here wants us to take his comment. Let's start with inside Oppenheimer, outside Bobby says Tiger Rose. Okay, sure, I'll take that, but happy to take that. Do you think getting out on 100 instead of making 130 or making 160, 170? So I'm guessing what he's trying to say here is, would it be better for his side to try and attempt a 160, 170 and in the process also risk being bowled out for 100? Or do you think the side should be defensive and just go for 130 and be happy with it? So which side are you on? Let's start with Shomi there. What do you think? Shomi, do you think a side should be aggressive enough and take those risks to try and attempt that 160, 170, even if it's bundled out for 100? Or do you think they should be defensive and just go to 130 and then try to win the game with their bowlers?
I think 100 doesn't give anything to your bowlers to bowl with. So I mean, neither does 130 in this kind of a situation. But still, it's still more than 6 runs are over. It's low compared to what you will expect in a T20 format. But it's still more than run a ball. So yeah, if you can put a little bit of a pressure with that, you still can make a game out of it. But with 100 with less than run a ball, I think that becomes extremely difficult on your bowlers. So yeah, I mean, it's good to be aggressive, but at the same time, it's also important for us to be pragmatic.
Interesting. Neha, what about you? Where do you stand in this debate?
Definitely. I think, going for that kill and going, for a total of 160 to 170, certainly the way to go, because with the way, the T20 format is evolving, you can't end up, defending 100 because there's nothing you're giving to your bowlers. They will come in with so much pressure. You could have probably the best of the bowlers and yet, them not being able to defend it. I think it also largely depends on the sort of conditions, right? So on a safer bet, probably, going for that 160 or 170 is the ideal way to go. And in a low scoring game, I think getting those wickets and stifling runs is perhaps the only way you can salvage a game.
I have a bit of a mixed answer, so to say. I do agree with both of you, and so that's where I feel it also depends on how you structure your side and what sort of a side you are. Like, if I'll take comparisons or rather examples from IPL because it's a lot more vivid in my memory, so I'll be able to list them out a lot more easily. So SRH of 2016, 17, 18, 19, a strong bowling attack, a solid bowling attack. So when you have a bowling attack like that, who you can back to defend 130 on most days, then you can sort of afford to go with this approach. So I don't mind even going to the Pakistani international side. They have a solid bowling attack. When I talk about the T20 side of it, they have a solid bowling attack. Again, when it's full strength, there's Naseem, there's Haris, there's Shaheen. Add someone like a Shadab who honestly again can come up with wickets and all of that. So when you have a side that's got a solid bowling lineup, then you can afford to pack your side batting lineup with anchors. Try and get to 130, 140, and then depend on your bowlers to go and defend it. Now compare that with say an RCB of 2016 and RCB of 2023 right now with a practically non-existent bowling attack. Then you cannot afford to go to 130 and then have bowlers they can give high. That's when you have to be proactive. Your batters have to be proactive. They have to be aggressive. They have to go for those runs. It is a risk, of course. You run the risk of being bundled out for 100. But with that sort of a bowling attack, it's not like 130 is going to help you anyways. So might as well go for those extra runs, try to score something above par so that the opposition's batting lineup then, tries to make errors going for those runs. So yeah, that's how I look at it. That's how I think of it. But yeah, it makes for a very interesting conversation. Something we will definitely talk about a lot more going forward. Milestone alert, by the way, Deepti has become the first Team India cricketer in women's cricket, of course, to surpass 1,000 runs and take 100 wickets in T20I. So I'm guessing Alisa's wicket that she took right now, her dismissal was Deepti Sharma's 100th T20I dismissal. Kudos to her. Let's hope she adds on to that 100 wickets and not so much to those 1,000 runs. At least more necessity now. Going forward, of course, Daniel M goes on to say, which has a strike rate of over 200. यार ये last time भी बात किया था हमने कि भाई 5 ही मैच खेला है, time दो, मतलब great of course, but ठीक है 5 मैच. That's like this is akin to me sort of being happy. अरे दीप्ति शर्मा 15 of 7, 15 of 7, 15 of 7. उसके बाद क्या हुआ वो भी हमने देखा. So, but great. It's definitely great to sort of see her come good in this format as well. And yeah, again, that batting lineup. We've got Grace Harris coming in at number 7. I'm forgetting who was it. Yeah, no, where was the comment on Grace Harris? I'm pretty sure there was a comment on Grace Harris, and I might have missed out on that. In case the person who did comment that, if you could sort of bring it up again, we'd be happy to talk about that. Vasant Naren, meanwhile, let's take this. So it's a 2-part comment. He said the Indian women's side depends on WPL a lot more than men. Catch. Hope the likes of Vrinda Dinesh, who were touted as talents, shine. The present combination isn't clicking collectively, consistently. The likes of Shriyanka shining, of course. Maybe we could see batters emerging from the WPL also doing well. Then we could see some consistency. Vrinda Dinesh, let's talk about her. I saw her, of course. Most of what I saw of her was in the India A series. That was one name I was looking forward to apart from Disha Kasat, and one clearly flattered to deceive, while the other I was genuinely impressed by in terms of her range and her penchant for sort of attacking the offside, because she just went for shots on the offside. She really loves doing that. Neha, Vrinda Dinesh, another, again, like we spoke about last time as well, of course, a Bangalore girl. Someone to look forward to, and potentially someone who could also, don the India cap in 2024 itself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen the signs, right, for a long time. She's been consistently piling on the runs for Karnataka in age group cricket and, eventually the senior team. And even the Women's Premier League contract she got was a result of that. But again, a concern comes in that do we just take the best performing players from, say, the domestic circuit and the Women's Premier League and just, catapult them to the team without understanding the needs and the context of the team? I believe if you get someone like a Vrinda Dinesh, we can probably slot her in the middle order. But then again, it depends on where she is able to bat best, right? So for me,
yes,
that's a wicket.
Beth Mooney goes finally. She's some. Oh man,
Yes,
that's a
big
good
wicket.
call. Not bad. India slowly coming back in, by the way. I mean, because in terms of run rate as well, Australia aren't too far ahead. The required run rate and the current run rate is almost hand in hand. Not bad. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Neha.
And also a very unlikely knock from Beth Mooney, right? She's like 20 of 29. We usually see her, unleash her attacking self, at least in the T20 format. So I think this is a knock she would not want to remember, right?
So maybe also a reflection of the fact that the surface is probably not as easy to bat on in the second innings as well as it was in the first T20I.
Definitely, and even with the required run rate slowly going on the
Going up.
going north, yeah, 73 of 65, India can really make a game out of this. A few more wickets perhaps, and yeah, we could see an entire tilt in favor to India.
Come on.
And India thankfully have been bowling pretty well in the middle overs, courtesy the spin duo. So I think we really have created some opportunity here now.
Certainly.
Definitely, Sharma and Sadhu in tandem have sort of been a good combination. But now actually comes the tricky part. So we've got Shriyanka, we've got Sadhu, we've got Renuka Thakur, and we've got Deepti Sharma. Four bowlers, 16 overs sorted, which is how they'll sort of take it till probably the 12th or the 13th over. Who's going to be the fifth bowler? Who's going to belt the cat? Who is it? Is it going to be Pooja Vastrakar? Is it going to be Amanjot Kaur? Is it going to be Harmanpreet Kaur? How do you look at this? Do you want to sort of take this till the 12th over before you bring in your fifth bowler, or do you want to try and sort of get a couple of overs right now when there are two new batters at the crease?
Yes, I think that's the right approach to kind of take up someone. I mean, even if Harman wants to come and roll an arm over, I think this will be the right opportunity for her to kind of give a breakthrough. And one wicket from here, down from here, I think things will really start looking a little tough. Though we know, I mean, reminding ourselves again of the fact that the batting depth is way too much. But still, a wicket is still a wicket. We have seen what has happened in the first game. That how it has actually created a collapse. So, yep, maybe something there.
Yeah, and to be honest, why wickets are important, I feel, is not just because of they have almost infinite batting depth. So I don't think it's about them running out of batters. But Neha, you can probably also chip in here in terms of incoming batters. They're finding it even more tricky, right? Because of how the surface is playing. So for new batters to come in and settle and then sort of get going, it takes them time. So having set batters is even more important. So given that, that's where wickets sort of become crucial for us, right?
Absolutely, because even the next set of batters coming in, I assume, Elise Perry is coming in next. She will take some time to settle in. So if you can get those quick wickets, I think that will certainly help our cause. But you still have Phoebe Richfield, right? She has been in a brilliant patch of form, especially in India versus India. So will Australia promote her up so early? Will be an interesting proposition. But you still have Grace Harris, who we keep forgetting and did not have the best of the first T20. So that's Elise Perry who's come in, playing her 300th match for Australia. So yeah, will she bail them out of trouble? Perhaps this could be that opportune moment, right?
Yep, definitely. Elise Perry is playing her 300th international match, of course, for Australia. A great servant of the game, of course, and has been a great cricketer, a bona fide legend in her own right. Um, I hope today isn't one of those days where she decides to unleash her usual attacking self. Excellent delivery again. Happy, yeah, nicely done that from Deepti Sharma. Tiger Rose, meanwhile, asks, can you tell what Shefali bowls? She bowls off spin, part-time off spin, to put it simply. Very, very, मतलब वो देख के पता लगता है. It's one of those very typical part-time actions that she has. Yeah, I'm not too sure if sort of she can uh, add anything to the table in terms of bowling today. It'll be very interesting if Herman goes to her over herself when it comes to bowling. But yeah, I was probably going to a spinner, given how this surface is playing right now, would be the way to go. Even Shriyanka Patil, of course, the numbers suggest 2 overs, none for 18. But we also have to understand that there were two boundaries of misfields, including one potential missed wicket opportunity. So she's bowled well. So clearly, spinners have something in the surface for them. So Harman could really come in and do some damage as well. यार पकड़ लिया यार. Okay, nice. एक और डॉट बॉल कर दो तो भाई 10 overs 59 for 2. That'll be great. That'll be really great. And yeah, just going back to the point you were making about Vrinda Dinesh and her potentially coming into the Indian side. So you mentioned that she might have to slot in the middle order. I feel the way I would look at it just like Vasant is. I'm assuming Vasant is also in agreement with me. She could be a replacement for Shefali Verma at the top, because Shefali has not been in the greatest of form, so maybe she could take some time off. And that's where someone like a Vrinda Dinesh with her attacking range can come in at the top and open in her natural position and play at her natural position, basically.
Again, that is a fair call, but then I want to understand the hierarchy system here, because if you already have Yastika who is in the scheme of things, do we bring her in? But again, that puts a left option right at the top of the order. This is assuming Smriti Mandana is not injured. So again, I want to understand like what would be the management ka logic, to get in Brinda Dinesh to open. I mean, it's not a bad call, obviously, but then again, you still have the likes of like Shweta Sehra, but then they'll have to actually go with like women's Premier League performances and see which batter is best suited for a certain format. And would you want to get rid of Shefari like so soon? Because she's not had the best of the numbers in ODI. But again, this brings that point. Are we just bringing the best players of domestic and women's Premier League onto the team without giving them the right positions? Because it's unfair, right, to demand them to just start performing at the right time. I mean, Vrida Dinesh is a top order bat, so opening won't be like a very different ball game for her. But then I still want to understand what would be the management's rationale
Amanjot
here.
Kaur, ladies, it is Amanjot Kaur. So, like both of you called it, they've decided to slip in an over or two off the fifth bowling option. So, it definitely is going to be interesting. If she's able to maintain her lines, it'll be great. Actually, lengths more than lines, because last time she had her lines right, it was the lengths where she ended up burning too much on the fullest side. Not a bad start for sure. But I do agree with you. It'll be very interesting to see, how all these new names coming up. There's Kashfi Gautam, of course. If you've already forgotten, she was also. Was that a four? Is that
Also, talking
straight?
about Vrinda Dinesh, I was just looking at her scores in 2023. The three games that she has played for the India A side against England, where she has opened, all three of them are not, I mean, they aren't really the best of the performances. Both of them are, two of them are in the single digit. One is probably in the 20s.
20s. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now,
so yeah.
agree with you there. Agree with you in terms of numbers. There's not too much to look at, but in all fairness, it was a fairly low-scoring affair. All three of the T20Is. I won't forget the first one because of how Sri Lanka defended it after bowling 5 wides. So that was great, great, great. So they needed 11 runs to win of the final over. Sri Lanka bowled 5 wides of the first ball, making the equation 6 to win of 6, and she still ended up defending it from there. She took 3 wickets, if I'm not wrong. But that was a very low scoring affair. And also, again, for me, it's all about passing the eye test when it comes to unknown players, unknown commodities. I'm not looking at numbers because I've burnt my hands far too many times just looking at numbers and thinking, "Arey, nahi." So I just wait for the eye test, and if they are able to clear whatever basic eye test I have, I make it sound as if I'm Bhai Kiran More ka aap abhi scout karke dikhata hu. But she has proper range. Offside, especially the kind of shots she played, clearly shows that she has the class to sort of make it to the top tier, to make it to international cricket. So that definitely, I would wait and watch sort of, the WPA, because it'll be very interesting. It'll be even more interesting for more reasons. We'll definitely talk about that. But first of all, we've got this stat for you guys. In 45 T20I innings where Beth Mooney has scored more than 20 runs, this is her slowest innings. Her previous lowest, of course, was against South Africa, where she scored 20 runs at a strike rate of 80. And this time around, she scored at a strike rate below 80. Going on to show how good a T20 batter she is, of course. And like Neha mentioned, she usually likes to sort of unleash her aggressive self in this format, but not to be the case today. Could potentially be a reflection of and as I say, midway in my sentence, Talia Migra decides to stop me there with a fantastic cut shot. Amanjot Kaur has given away 2 boundaries and 9 runs. Guys, the fifth bowling option is definitely going to bite us back. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Definitely, I think Australia has found their scapegoat, someone they can, unleash all their attacking prowess. And Manjot Kaur is unfortunately going to be that sort of a bowler. Perhaps, it is time to induce a change. Do not give her another over. And probably Harman can come and just mix things up, because the moment this duo settles in, the game is done and dusted, because the equation still reads 63 of another 53 balls. The match is still very much in India's the ball is still in India's court. We have
I
to
would say it's even. It's still even Stevens. It's not entirely Australia's game. Neither is it India's game, is what I feel. But I do agree with you. I'm not sure why is Amanjot Kaur being trusted so much. Harman भाई खुद पे थोड़ा तो भरोसा रखे यार. I understand कि batting ठीक से नहीं चला. इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि bowling भी नहीं करोगी. Like I agree with what Nikhil had to say on this. Ki other skippers, when she's playing under others, she bowls a lot more. It's almost like Other skippers have a lot more trust in her than she has on herself. Be it the WBBL, be it even the the 100, of course. I don't know what's happening. Like, why wouldn't you bowl yourself, especially on a surface like this, where clearly spinners have a lot more, are getting a lot more purchase. It's just
Also, I think
bizarre
it's
that
about the intent. I mean, the intent that we talk about in batters. I think it's a clear sign of intent that you're not even attempting.
agreed. And again, the thing is, Talia Migra and Elise Penny कच्चे खिलाड़ी तो है नहीं, उनको भी थोड़ी समझ है. अगर हमें समझ आ रहा है कि they're trying to slip in an over or two of the fifth bowler, उनको भी तो समझ आता ही होगा. So they of course are going to try and maximize that. Oh man, let's see how
And
this.
just talking a little bit about Harmanpreet, the bowler, like when she was playing for Melbourne Renegades as well, right? She was actually like one of their most prolific all-rounders during that pandemic season, right? And I was like super impressed with her. So in that sense, I was hoping she would, give herself a few overs. But yeah, seems like the skipper doesn't have a lot of faith in her bowling abilities as much as we do, I guess.
Which reminds me, do you guys remember what happened in the WBBL this time around between Herman and Sophie Devine? Well, that was hilarious to watch. The way Sophie Devine was like, geez, calm down. I don't know if she said, if she addressed her as Harry or Herman. So basically, Sophie Devine was bowling and Herman was batting, if I remember that correctly. And man, that's a four once again. Elise Perry, yaar, aaj nahi, aaj rehne do. परसों जीत लो, परसों 200 मार लो, 250 मार लो, 300 मार लो, टेंशन नहीं है. आज छोड़ दो यार. यार हरमन हरमन किसी को तो बोल रहे थे, अरे आजा आजा जल्दी. I'm hoping it's not Amanjot Kaur. I genuinely hope it isn't her. Let's see who does she goes to right now. Who does she go to right now? Of course. I'll just take a few comments before we get back to what we were talking about. Sachin says, I think DT slowly becoming a bowling all-rounder. I don't know if he means वो पहले बॉलर थी अभी बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर बन रही है या पहले प्रॉपर ऑलराउंडर थी वहां से बॉलिंग ऑलराउंडर बन रही है because it's hard to understand. To be honest, I don't even consider a bowling all-rounder. I consider a bowler in this format. I know I've said this way too many times. Neha, let's start with you. Like, what do you think is this comment trying to say? Like, again, all-rounder say bowling all-rounder, या bowler say bowling all-rounder? Like, is it an upgrade or a downgrade for her?
I think it's a downgrade. He just like relegated her to a bowling all rounder. Like bowling is her strength, and batting is something that kind of comes. Oh, was there a run
Yeah,
out? Yeah.
it's Amanjot Kaur, and she's decided she'll bowl. Oh, run out chance हो रही यार. So Amanjot Kaur has उसका last match में भी same ploy था. First over pace up, she got smashed. Second over she was like, I'll bowl 6 slower balls. बाकी तुम देख लो. तो अभी पहला ball slower ball था. Expect 5 more slower balls. So expect 2 boundaries and probably a wicket like Nikhil Bhai had predicted last time as well. Let's see. Yeah, another slow ball. Another slow ball.
It's in the 70s. Oh my god. Just look at the speed.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't be so obvious with your bowling. Like again, I have to repeat. I'm sorry, Shomi, you're on mute if you're saying something here. Okay, no, then cool, then peace. And like, I have to repeat myself here, but it's like she's telegraphed. What she's going to bowl to the batter. Like, Harsha Bhogle likes to say, another slow ball. Don't. It's a
That's
four,
a
of course.
boundary.
Of course. I mean, classic.
Also, was that Minu Money in the field replacing someone? I think I saw her.
On where? At point or near the boundary?
Ah, no, near the boundary only.
Near the boundary.
Okay, I didn't observe. Man, why are you bowling so wide outside the off stump? And I'm not sure why is Megra even attempting to cut it. She could very well leave it. It is Minu Money, of course. Without her glasses. That's it.
The equation is getting simpler for Australia at this point, man. Required run rate 6.8. They're already at 6.4.
यार एक पेस अप यॉर्कर लेंथ ट्राई तो करो भाई साहब इसको. Oh man, this is crazy. Like, I called it, by the way. Social media team अगर हो तो भाई काट के भेज देना. 6 स्लोअर बॉल बोला था, 4 तो आ गए. पहले 4 में 4 स्लोअर बॉल. ये क्या टैक्टिक है भाई इसका? मतलब this is bizarre. This is beyond bizarre.
This is seriously lack of creativity. Like her creative brain is dead.
Oh man.
This is just short of the leg
ball.
balls.
यार.
This is not working out.
अगर 70s में ही बॉल डाल रहा है तो हरमन तू भी तो 70s में ही बॉल डालती है बहन, तो तू ही डाल ले यार. क्या चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है, like, oh man, this is genuinely beyond bizarre, and this is a proper half tracker. And the thing is, all of his slow balls have been back of the hand
Yes.
slow balls, not cutters. So which means it's a lot more harder to execute, which is why she's gotten only one ball bang on, to be honest. Her first three balls were way outside off stump. This was a half tracker. I
Did you
just
see
don't know.
people Litchfield do something like this? Did she just mimic the action? Have they figured out the ploy?
Yeah.
I just क्या चल रहा है यार. आई अग्री विद वसंत हियर, फॉगी चल रहा है उसके दिमाग में बस, और कुछ नहीं चल रहा है ये. मतलब आई कांट बिलीव, छह स्लोअर बॉल कौन डाल रहे दो बार दो
All
T20.
short deliveries at pace 70 odd. No.
So again, that's the thing, right? Because it's a back of the hand slower ball. Until and unless you have great control, you've been bowling this all your life, it's very hard to get it bang on. So in all fairness, she got only one ball right this over. She bowled 5 rank bad deliveries. She's lucky that she wasn't latched onto and she didn't concede 5 boundaries. Oh man, jeez. Should the captain go and speak? This isn't Red House versus Green House cricket. I love this example. I love this. Meanwhile, Shanka's backing to the.
That's a misfield, guys. That's a boundary.
Oh man, it's Renuka Thakur, man. She's genuinely bad. Like, it's hard to hide her. It's genuinely hard to hide her. Shriyanka's now given 3 boundaries that she shouldn't have given. So, in my eyes, her figures for the day is 10 for 0, 2.1 overs. मैं तो ऐसे ही गिनूंगा.
I just love how Akshay kind of just gets on so defensive about
That
this
was
whole thing.
Titus, no? Titus
I am
Sadhu who
protector.
missed.
Oh, that's Titus. Yeah, sorry. I am protector. I'm sorry. I am that elder brother. I've decided I've had enough of this. Her figures today 10 for 0, 2.1 overs.
With the wicket. That missed opportunity.
Yeah, okay, वो भी गिन लो. नहीं, वो नहीं गिनूंगा. This is where I draw the line. थोड़ी मर्यादा हम भी रखते हैं भाई. But man, this is just bizarre. Amanjot is one of those players who doesn't get to bat or bowl for the MI side. Bro, ऐसे 6 लोग हैं वहाँ पे, 5 ही लोग खेलते हैं वहाँ पे, 6 लोग बस फील्ड में फील्डिंग करने आ रहे हैं. Amanjot is one of those players, so you can't blame her for that. But
Definitely. I mean, just look at Mumbai Indians' squad composition. You have Nat Silver, Amelia Kerr, Hayley Matthews. Where is the space or anything that's needed for any other player to come up, right?
True, very true.
Was there a run out?
अरे यार, फेंक उधर फेंक. अरे गलत एंड पे फेंका यार. स्टार ले चुकी थी वो. But we will talk a bit more about that over. We'll talk a bit more. Oh my goodness, sports fan being way too harsh here. All-rounder word is a disgrace when it's added to the field. Bhai, आराम से chill करो. सांस लेते रहो. That running between the wickets I want in my Indian team. Give it 5 to 10 years, hopefully we'll have that. अभी के side में तो expect करना मुश्किल ही लग रहा है मेरे को. फिलहाल I'm not sure what this comment is supposed to mean, what this reference is. Am I like too old to understand this reference? Just like pole, I trust in miracles, but not in slow balls anymore. What's pole? I'm assuming it's miracles, but what's pole? Oh, like Pollard. Is he referring to Pollard?
No.
Catch! Is that a wicket? That's a wicket. That should be a wicket. Yes! Come on.
And it's T-Mac again.
Yup, it is T-Mac again. Yes. Both of you were laughing. If you could just help me get.
I was looking at Shami and just laughing. I think she got the reference. I didn't.
No, I didn't, but I'm sure it's not Pollard. I'm certain about it.
Both of you are laughing as if you know. Wow, man, this is bizarre. Oh, yes,
I
this
mean,
is.
your guess was so off the mark. Like,
But Shankari Cruz, do help us out.
Paul reminds me of elections. Paul reminds Akshay of Pollard. Like,
Yeah.
Election सोचता मैं, but election का reference यहाँ पे fit नहीं हो रहा था.
I was thinking of exit poll or something, but ठीक है. I mean,
Could be the case. मैं पुलाड इसीलिए सोचा because slower ball कुछ ज्यादा ही क्रिकेट के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ लगता है थोड़ा. I should take a break maybe. Akshay, there is a live poll going.
Okay, okay, okay.
ओ भाई ये तो अपने को ही नहीं पता. प्रोड्यूसर साहब थोड़ा अपने को भी इंफॉर्मेशन दिया करो अगर अपना लाइव पोल चल रहा है यहाँ पे. हम तो बिंदास मैच देखे यहाँ पे विकेट पे चिल्ला रहे कोई नहीं. तो
Ash Gardner's in, by the way.
yeah, it is Ashgard. Oh, interesting. So they've not sent Phoebe Litchfield in. Yeah,
I think they're saving her in case another wicket falls. Perhaps you can have an extra batting option.
That is true. That is true. And let's take a few more comments. Slowest delivery by Darcy 120, fastest by Amanjot 60. Are you kidding me? We will talk about that over. Anyway, it's the end of another fantastic over from Shriyanka. 1 for 11 in 3 overs. That's a mind-blowing spell. Couldn't ask for more from her. Nicely done there. And ये कौन था भाई? हाँ, प्रोटेक्टर नहीं मैं बोला प्रोटेक्टर ब्रदर पूरा अपना खींच के बताओ. नहीं क्रश अरे अगर होता तो मैं बोल अपने को क्या है अपने को मतलब क्या ही पता है. But nice comment. But talking about Amanjot Kaur and that over that we saw, the sort of strangely slow 12th over that we saw. Why? Like in what? Okay, it's Renuka Thakur now. Single, please tell me it's just a single. Come on, man. Oh my God, it's just a single. Chalo, all right. But yeah,
I see even Yastika come in. I wonder who is she replacing on the field right now.
maybe all the fielders who need to be hidden, they're being hidden in the pavilion. They're like, वो basically school cricket में we used to do that. Yeah, school cricket में we used to do that. तो अरे ये फील्डर अच्छा नहीं है तो आप कोच से तू बस ऐसा टांग दिखा दे कुछ बोल दे ये टूट गया वो टूट गया और वापस बाहर आ जा. तो we used to do it regularly. जिनका भी फील्डिंग अच्छा नहीं होता था, so we used to do that for sure. 41 to 1 of 35 right now. Ashley Gardner 0 of 1 just walked in. Thanks to Talia McGrath's dismissal. Ooh, Yorker attempted, not the worst. Bold ball, so to say. 50% of the team should go out in that case. Vasant, I do agree with you. मतलब fielding के basis पे अगर करना है तो किन okay, that'll make for an interesting sort of question. फील्डिंग के बेसिस पे अगर प्लेयर्स को रिप्लेस करना होता है इस इंडियन टीम में कौन कौन जाते हैं बाहर? रेणुका, स्मृति और कौन? आई एम फॉरगेटिंग. नाम बताओ यार जल्दी. रेणुका, स्मृति, दीप्ति इज गुड, जेमी इज गुड.
Amanjot?
I haven't seen much of it. ऋचा घोष उसको भी निकाल के कीपर ही नहीं चाहिए.
अरे नहीं Harmanpreet is also. Harmanpreet also.
I think the kind of catches Yastika had dropped in that specific 7 catch drop match, in spite of being a wicket keeper, dropping those catches are like pretty.
Guys, we're forgetting a very important name, Smriti Mandana, during the ODI series. Oh my
पहला ही
God.
नाम बोला.
Oh, पहला ही नाम बोला.
हाँ, स्मृति तो पहले. स्मृति रेणुका दोनों साथ में बाहर जाएंगे.
RCB.
हाँ, ऋचा भी RCB इसीलिए. बट
रेणुका also RCB.
ऐसा सोच के लेते हैं ये सब. चुन के लेते हैं हम लोग ऐसे नाम. But who are the good fielders? Like, who are your safe fielders? Jemmy, Shriyanka, who else? Like, that's it. End of list.
I think Pooja to some extent. Like, I've seen her at the boundary sometimes,
राधा यादव of course. मतलब वो अभी नहीं है तो इसीलिए गिन नहीं रहे. तो इस 11 में हम लोग देख रहे हैं. भाई साहब इतनी जल्दी लिस्ट अगर खत्म हो रहा है सेफ फील्डर्स पे. we're not talking about good fielders, excellent fielders. बाउंड्री है क्या?
Misfield, yeah.
तो तीतास को भी हम लोग बाहर निकालेंगे अभी 2 ओवर में 2 बाउंड्री मिस कर गया.
50% of the team, yeah.
अक्षय भाई, we need to utilize smartly our part timers. अरे बात उनको कौन समझाए अभी? कौन समझाए? Like that's my worry. Titas will probably bowl the next over and she'll also be done. Shriyanka's got an over. Deepti's got 2 to go, so that's 3 more overs left. But there's 2 overs of that 5th bowling option.
Deepti has got 1 to go.
Sorry?
Deepti has 1 to go.
Yeah.
Oh, Deepti also has 1 to go. So it's 2.
So yeah, I mean, does bringing in Deepti here make any sense? Because she's the one who has created some impact at least.
So I would ideally, what I would want Herman to do is Titas, Deepti, Shriyanka, get done with them first, take the match till the end, and then see what happens. अभी अगर एक भी ओवर पूजा या अमनजोत डालते हैं, have a very मतलब 9-10 रन हो जा सकता है उसमें, और एक विकेट भी अगर मिल गया तो फायदा नहीं है, बट अगर 10 रन जाता है, your required run rate is already down there, because what they need 36 of 5, 10 रन अगर मिल जाता है, 26 चाहिए 4 ओवर में, 6.5 का required run rate is not going to hurt them at all. So it's important, Deepti, Shriyanka, if they sort of, come up with those few dot balls and then connect those dots,
And
get a wicket or two. Yeah.
hits
Sorry.
Pooja in the attack.
The thing is,
You remember that Fancy Cronio episode where he was hearing he had a hearing stuff with the coach.
Yeah, Bob Woolman.
Right?
Is that a wicket? No persons, no movements. Jaldi phank. दो भाग लिया भाई. Oh man, I remember that Bob Woolman, Hansi Cronje.
Yeah. Piece wala. We need to do that with Harman. Like
definitely,
we need to tell her what to do from here.
You know something's really wrong. अगर मैं कुछ बोल रहा हूँ जो सेंस है, जो ज्यादा सेंस बन रहा है, अगर मैं कुछ सेंसेबल बोल रहा हूँ तो भाई वहीं पे कुछ है, वहीं पे कुछ लोचा है भाई.
No, but then again, we're looking at cricketers as these figures we're putting on a pedestal कि हाँ जो उन्हें पता है वो ही ठीक है, and we as fans or experts, are not able to give opinions. I think we have to break that narrative as well, right? Like cricketers cannot be all knowing in that sense. They need to have like an outsider POV.
Bro, you're the captain for a
exactly.
long time.
I agree with this argument if you're talking about commentators कि कि commentators नहीं समझ आता, but अगर तुम captain हो और side को lead कर रहे हो, I can't be tactically better than the captain on the field, right? I know I'm not saying I am. चलो पकड़ लिया. दो ओवर पिच डिलीवरीज है जो मतलब पेरी ब्रेकफास्ट लंच एंड डिनर में छक्के मारेगी. I'm not sure why am I going with English here, but whatever. She's just lucky that she's bowling to an out of form Ashley Gardner, who's even struggling to get off strike. Bowling has been good actually. Batting has been disappointing. Fine, we will lose, but we needed 150. Please completely agree with you there. Catch it! That's all. Again, खुश होने की जरूरत नहीं है. I feel ये विकेट हमें नहीं लेना चाहिए था. I genuinely think विकेट नहीं लेना चाहिए.
This is bad partnership again. Oh my god.
Because अभी Phoebe Litchfield या Grace Harris, I feel they can even potentially send a Grace Harris right now. I actually don't know why did they send Ashley Gardner. To be honest, it was a bad call, and I'm not saying this in hindsight. Yeah. I was surprised even when she came in.
Same.
And yes, 7 of 10 sort of makes you wonder कि क्या चल रहा है वहाँ पे. By the way, our statsman has come up with a very, very interesting piece of information. I'll definitely have it on board ASAP. There you go. The average speed of that Amanjot over was 74.6. Apart from one delivery from Warren, which was 69.4, none of the deliveries have been slower than the average speed of that over. Oh my goodness, क्या चल रहा है यार? इसीलिए मैं वही बोला ना, अगर 70 की स्पीड से ही डालना हरमन तो तू ही डाल ले, मतलब क्या ही फर्क पड़ रहा है.
Exactly, that would bring in so much variety into the bowling, and Australia would not see that coming, but clearly this is going to bite us. And yeah, Phoebe Litchfield is in ahead of Grace Harris, perhaps, to salvage the situation, because they need another 33 from 25?
Yeah, exactly. Required run rate उतना ऊपर नहीं है, so they're like they can आराम से hold on to Grace. एक दो छक्के जब चाहिए तो एक दो बर्गर खा के आ जाएगी, फिर खत्म कर देगी. उसमें क्या उसको. I don't find any magic from the new coach. Tactical mistakes haven't gone down. Fielding erratic. I sort of again understand where you're coming from, Vasant, but I would still sort of hold on to my judgment right now, because 3 T20s हुआ है, 3 ODIs हुआ है, एक ही I mean 6 T20s हुआ है, ठीक है, but फिर भी मतलब ठीक है, like playing 11 ठीक का बना रहे हैं, 11 का construction ठीक है. It takes this is a gradual process. We cannot expect every change. Okay, single.
I think that was a brilliant over by Pooja Vastrakar, right? Just giving away 4 runs with a wicket coming in as well. Brilliant stuff. Thank God it was not given to Amanjot.
Exactly. I mean, definitely.
Considering in between Pooja and Amanjot, I mean, I know both were pretty much the devil the last time, but I think still Pooja is a better devil to deal with.
Certainly. Gets the edge, yeah.
100%, 100%. And there was something that we were talking about just before this, right? What was it?
I think
Oh yeah,
Ash Gardner.
no, Ash Gardner. Of course, we did touch upon her lack of form and why it wasn't probably the greatest of choices. And I still do feel ki, in some sense we did luck out ki the over that Pooja bowled was predominantly faced by Ash Gardner, so that sort of helped. But irrespective, given the context of the game, we needed an over like that. Now the required run rate's gone up to 8. Not that it's too much, but one boundary here or there, and it's definitely in Australia's favor. Let's hope Deepthi gets a wicket now. But yeah, in terms of Amol Mazumdar, so yeah, let's just sort of hold on to our judgments. Okay, Neha's reaction is not giving me good vibes, and I understand why it isn't
That's
giving
a
me good
6.
vibes because absolutely dispatched it past long on fence for a fantastic 6. 300th international match है तो Elise Perry has decided कि boss
आज तो दिखाना है.
आज तो हम मतलब ये खत्म करके जाएंगे. If we go down as a losing side after the series, how do you see Amol sir's work around this team? Too hypothetical, I guess. Okay, Neha, ऐसा react मत करो. Oh,
How do you misfield things like that? Akshay, it went through the legs. It was a nutmeg proper. What? I don't know.
That
Very
was-
disappointing.
Harman, who was that?
I think it was Harman, yeah.
मेरे को रेणुका ही दिखती है हर जगह.
हाँ, रेणुका वाली vibes ही थी वो. That was exactly रेणुका vibes.
Yeah, इसीलिए. मैंने अगर ऐसा किया तो भाई उसको मतलब भाई अभी के अभी उसको मतलब just banish her from the stadium. Play with 10 fielders. शाबाश शाबाश. अरे आराम से फेंको आराम से यार. But yeah, what do you make of this? If we end up losing the series, after that we lost to England 1-2 as well. How do you see Amol sir's work around this team? This is what Anthony Cruz wants to ask. Neha, let's start with you. What do you make of it? यार जब भी नेहा ऐसे रिएक्ट करती है तो खत्म भाई.
Because I'm very impressed with the way Australia is making, use of the gaps, right? The kind of shots that Phoebe Litchfield did. But yeah, coming to answer this question, how can Amol sir work around this? I think don't do something very reactionary, Matlab, aise, we don't have a series coming up till the World Cup, so it'll be very difficult to see matlab, kya hi steps he can bring in. But I think team selection, guys, that will be like at the top of his criteria. How do we go about with this? Like we our batting is not really coming to the party. Batting is not really coming to the party, and the bowling, in the middle phases, although we get wickets from the other end, we don't have someone to operate. So it all boils down to that, selection of the ideal playing 11. And I think the Women's Premier League will give us a fair assessment of who can be certain players, to fill those gaping holes that the team is facing right now. So that's another boundary. Yeah, this over is turning out to be very painful, but I think for India it will be a good reflection of how things did not work out, and a lot will depend on the third T20 as well. If we continue to repeat the mistakes of this match, it's not going to go down well. So somewhere we need to have that introspection, and we can't expect changes overnight. But I think again we're coming back to the whole aspect of fielding, which is turning out to be a thorn somewhere.
Yeah, and in all fairness, again, the fielding bit, I would still it takes time. Like there's no way on earth you can एक ODI series के बाद एक T20 series से पहले अचानक से तुम लोग fielding improve करके आ जाओगे, वो तो नहीं होने वाला. Right now, for some reason, it just gives me the vibe like the way I look at it is, feels like the fielders are a bit scared of the ball. And I say this because I myself was a victim of that. I used to be scared of the ball. I used to be scared of the ball coming to me. And let's just wait. Pooja has come back for her second over. Bhai Saab! Yaar.
But Akshay, just asking you a question, like scared of the ball coming to you, as in like scared of misfielding the ball in that sense?
So it's the fear of a fear of just misfielding, and secondly, this is a leather ball. This isn't a tennis ball. It actually hurts. It actually hurts. I remember for the longest time till I was about 12, 13, I used to be really scared of the ball. I used to get like the second the ball came towards like tennis ball may dive. Oh, don't tell me that's a wide now. She shuffled well across. Yeah, not a wide. So टेनिस बॉल में मस्त ऐसा वन हैंडेड ब्लाइंडर्स ये सब आराम से पकड़ सकते थे, बट come leather ball games and come used to have those matches, I used to struggle because I used to get very, very, very sort of cautious. "Arey, kya ho raha hai, ye, wo." And also with the leather ball, gauging the bounce, it's a lot more different. The pace, it takes you time. And that's where I feel with this Indian setup, a lot of these players haven't gotten used to playing, top flight cricket. So maybe that could be, "Arey, nahi, yaar, kya aisa reaction? Drop? नहीं 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 catch ही नहीं था शेफाली good at it.
Are Shefali could have tried thoda matlab diving catch aise. Have you seen those ridiculous blinders? I think that could have been. It was edge,
You
man.
answer it भाई ridiculous blinder अभी इतना आसान होता तो ridiculous blinder नहीं बोलते.
Are nahi. This was too much running.
Anyway, sorry Shomi, you were saying something.
No, I was exactly like backing up the fact that you were talking about that being scared of the ball. I've heard a Yashasvi Jaiswal interview, and where he exactly speaks of the same thing, that he was very scared of catching the balls, and how his coach once just gave him a slap and said that will it hurt more than
Right.
this? And I mean the kind of things you see in the Mumbai cricket. So exactly like and I
Gives
think
you a
that
whole
kind of brought him out of the entire
I mean gives the whole Mumbai Khadoos culture a
Hadoop culture.
complete
Yeah,
new
yeah,
definition कि भाई ये क्या चल रहा है.
yeah, yeah.
But again, in my case, fear of the ball, the way I was able to get over it, or I mean, when I say get over it, oh, chalo, daughter. For me, it just gets over time with practice. The more you play, the more you feel, the more you get used to it, the more you understand it. That's how it happens. Because I say this again, you just see the nutmeg that happened in the last over. Renuka's misfields in particular, it feels like she's trying to shy away from the ball. Like when I say that, I'm talking about again, I'm not a body language expert here, so not dishing out certificates, but I just get that vibe. I'm just saying this कि मेरे को ऐसा लगा. अभी बाकी अभी वही जानते, they know it better than us कि क्या चल रहा है वहाँ पे. Field it. No, it's not a four. It's not a four. बहन क्या कर रही है यार? दो तो भाग लिया. अब क्या फायदा? So, guys, one thing I noticed is that the women's team seemed like taking it for granted. For instance, post the previous match, they celebrated the win way too much. Can see, अबे यार ये तो वही बात हो गई कि भाई अभी जीते तो celebrate तो करेंगे ना भाई. ऊपर से इतना अच्छे से जीतने. I don't think. I don't agree with this. Because celebrating does not mean you're taking it for granted. You want to celebrate the win, of course. Might be wrong. They didn't win the series, but they gave it all at that point. हाँ तो भाई मतलब लिखा थोड़ी है कहीं पे कि खाली सीरीज जीतने पर सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए, मैच जीतने पर नहीं. अब ठीक है. I mean,
मेंस टीम ने मेडल बांट दिया एक मैच के बाद.
हाँ. Yeah, so it was like a very heartening call. Did you guys see that video where Titus Sadhu did a video call with Jhulan Goswami? It was so nice, no, to see. Medal नहीं मिल रहा है इधर.
Right, exactly. So, ये तो मतलब this is now just nitpicking and coming up with random sort of reasons. Shriyanka meanwhile has come back to bowl her final over. Oh man, ganda ball. First time I've seen her mis-execute a Yorker so badly. First time. So yeah, clearly there's always a first time for everything. By the way, another stat for you guys. First 2 overs of Deepti Sharma today, 3 runs with 2 wickets. Last 2 overs, 19 runs for no wickets. So yeah, just goes to show how she fared today. Just let's take this comment. The fear of the ball would make sense, but they regularly practice with the leather ball, so I'm not sure how much fear would there still be. Again, we need to understand it takes time. All of this takes time. Of course, they must be practicing, no doubt. एक connect भी नहीं हुआ उतने ढंग से.
Yeah, Phoebe Litchfield is just using those reverse scoops to probably, access that area because of, less fielders being there. Smart batting though, nonetheless.
But clearly, Phoebe Litchfield likes to play behind the square, be it the reverse sweeps, be it the connected sweeps, be it the scoops. So, bhai, ya behin, third man, और आपका fine leg, field circle क्या कर रहा है? क्या कर रहा है? क्यों बॉल के पीछे खुदा रहे हो?
That's another boundary.
देख फिर से behind square, क्यों सब field क्यों? यार अभी ये तो मतलब this is intent चाहिए भाई. हाँ यार पता है
कोई बात नहीं. अच्छा जल्दी खत्म हो रहा है 1 ओवर पहले. और इतना और कितना करेंगे हम? Like how long we will take this?
Nope. But yeah, like I don't know whose field is this. If this is Shriyanka's field, so yeah, then it's on you. You need to make it like you know
Uh,
what area she is accessing. I'm not sure. Like this isn't something I'm noticing now. She's consistently done this every time she's attempted that reverse sweep. You remember that missed opportunity last time, Renuka, Jenny. Both the fielders were inside the circle. I understand you want to give bait her, but when you realize that she is sort of connecting the ball frequently, तो भाई कितना bait करोगे? शॉट यार बट ये तो फील्डर के पास ही जाएगा डू इंडियन players still have a tendency to play in the regular V short innovation can compensate slightly for power let's start with Neha. I was about to just barge in but Neha, let's start with you. What do you make of this question? Very interesting one.
Definitely, I think we tend to play with that very conservative approach, and we tend to just go with shots in the regular V. And I think short innovation can do us a world of good. मतलब हमारा short innovation maximum goes to the sweep shot, which just ends up in the hands of the fielder. So that gets very painful and frustrating to watch. As an oh my god, is that a bound? Oh my god, that's the match. Phoebe Litchfield, sorry, Elise Perry has done it.
Who but Elise Perry to finish the game off in her 300th international game, and that's a fantastic six. Oh boy, 16, 17 runs coming of that over. Not the greatest of days for Sri Lanka, not the greatest of days for India, of course. And so, yeah, we can finish this before we sort of move on to the game and discuss the game and sort of, dig deep and dissect it.
Right. So that's what short innovation can definitely help the Indian team, because the most we've seen is with the sweep shot that usually does not end up really well. Or you see, Shriyanka Patil do the, innovative shots that usually ends up, with the wicket keeper. So I think somewhere bringing in that proactive approach with the batting in the limited overs is the way to go, because batting first, we were dismal today. And I think we have been, discussing it through the discussion as well. Like 131 was never going to be enough. I mean, credits to India for bringing it till here. But then I think that fifth bowling option is going to come to haunt us. And I think after the series we will have time to reflect on who can be that option. Hopefully the Women's Premier League can give us some options of who can fill in that slot. If not, we really have to figure out a solution, right?
No, I mean because we speak about batting depth and bowling depth, but there's no point having 7 or 8 mediocre options. For example, I'm not saying we have 7 or 8 mediocre options, but like we have 8 bowling options, and even then we're struggling for a fifth bowler, like to fulfill. I mean, to fill in for the fifth bowler, and that just goes on to show that maybe it's not just about having depth for the sake of it. Again, that does not change the fact that I still like this structure. I still like what this 11 is looking like. So I hope this template is stuck to, and they just come up with alternators for the existing options. Show me, what do you make of it in terms of how we ended up losing the game today?
I think it's the overall, definitely starting with the batting, and also we have let opportunities go. So we didn't really make anything special out of it, or didn't try anything special to win that, win it out after a below par total. So yeah, I mean, it clearly shows. I would have been surprised if we would have done anything better than this. Now, coming to the fact that also the change. I mean, if I would have been the coach, I would have definitely given Kanika a chance here. I mean, the think tank, we should have given Kanika a chance, especially because we have clearly seen that Amanjot is not working completely in the white ball format. So yeah, I mean, since now it's almost like a series. I mean, now it's a series decider. So why not play some wild card in, and bring in some surprise element.
Fair enough, and we will talk about Kanika Ahuja and lots more, of course, while we review the game. हमारे यहाँ पे haters चप्पल मारेंगे. You say moral victory. Look at the World Cup. I guess that's the difference between the fans of both the teams. I'll just leave it at that, to say the least. Kanika is another deeply with the bat. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've seen a more. I don't know if wrong would be too harsh, but I'll stick to wrong. I don't think I've come across a more wrong take. Come on, cricket, bhai, please, मतलब bhai या बहन, please, इतना तो मत, इतना नहीं. Come on, Kanika's like, she's shown that she has the goods to deliver in terms of aggression, in terms of getting those boundaries, and especially running between the wickets as well. What I first want to understand is Kanika with the ball, because I feel more than the bat right now. It's sort of a very very tricky situation. We have batters, we have solid batting options, but a lot of them aren't in form, which is why we want a batter as well, a solid batter. We have bowlers, we have plenty of bowling options, but we don't have too many we can count on come the situations. So we also want a bowling option. So ideally, we're looking for someone who can bat as well, who can bowl properly as well. Like I know Kanika with the bat is good enough, but Kanika with the ball hasn't really given me a lot of confidence. What little I've seen of her, she seems more like a part timer. At best, like probably a slight upgrade over Herman, to probably put it. Neha, what do you make of it? Since you would have seen her bowling a lot more than I have.
No, definitely. I think Kanika as that part timer may not give you so much of confidence. But then, if you really want to like deepen the bowling, then you get in someone like a Minu Mani, right? She's already in the team right now, can bowl those brilliant off breaks as well, has played in the India A setup. Yeah.
Yeah, agree with you. But then Minu Mani is a batter. Like that's why I don't think Minu Mani is a batter could be good enough at number 7, number 8, because when you want those quick runs, again, this is me speaking of my very limited knowledge and understanding of her. I haven't seen a lot of her play because unfortunately she hardly got to play for the Delhi Capitals. It was only the India A side where I sort of got to see her. And do you think she can sort of be that aggressive? Because we want someone who can play aggressively. That's where I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure if I would sort of be affirmative in my yes. I'd still be hesitant. I'm not sure of that. At best, she's an upgrade over Deepthi, can get you those. I mean, can rotate the strike consistently, but can she get those boundaries regularly?
That,
That's, yeah,
yeah.
will be difficult. Sorry, Shomi, you had something to say?
No, no, I think, yeah. I mean, there's some sense in it. Yeah, of course.
And we'll just take a few comments, of course, quite a few of them coming in. Kanika is upgrade of Deepthi with the bat. Okay, with all caps. Thank you so much. Kanika is probably the best batter after Richa. Int 20s in my view. Again, I might be too old to understand this. ये last का क्या है पांच भाई
I
after
mean, like, I
Richa.
think Kanika is also young, right? So in their 20s, I think these are the best batters in that league. So probably
मेरे
that
को
could be a
इंटेंट
reference.
लगा आईएनटी में इंटेंट पढ़ा कि इंटेंट वाइज ऐसा कुछ होगा तो 20s का एवरेज बता रहा है कि क्या बता रहा है
You
क्लियरली
read
नॉट.
Paul as Pollard.
Clearly, too much cricket. I don't get why Herman doesn't trust Pooja as much, even though time and again she has proven herself with the ball. Even today, just 2 overs. I don't think it has to do with trust as much as it had to do with the fact that she wanted to fill in the fifth bowler's quota. But definitely, Pooja could have been given the ball before Amanjot. And had she not gotten it right, then she could have resorted to Amanjot. So I was surprised with Amanjot getting the ball before Pooja. Maybe had to do with the fact that last time, first T20, she bowled that first over, went for a few. I mean, went for like 8 runs, not even like a few. But second over, mein काफी ज़्यादा मार खाया. She went for 20 runs.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that could have played a role there. But still agree with you, Pooja definitely should have gotten the nod ahead of Amanjot. I think
And
though,
I think batting. I mean, in batting also, Amanjot coming ahead in the order. I think that made less sense at that point of time.
yeah, I mean the clocks sort of. I mean, not the clock. The time's running out quickly for Amanjot as well. Like we discussed time and again during the watch along, that potentially the only change we would want to look at is someone like a Kanika Ahuja coming in place of Amanjot. It'll be interesting to see how the side looks at it. Best bowler of WPH, Saika, is in the bench. Fair enough, but किसके बल्ले खिलाओगे? मतलब कहाँ खिलाओगे? So that's the next question. So you say that we can't replace an Amanjot with a Saika because that leaves our batting a bit too thin, at least for the management's liking. And which bowler has bowled bad enough for you to replace? Itas, Renuka, Shreyanka, Deepthi, all 4 of them have been good. So it's not like anyone's been bowling bad enough for them to be replaced. So it's all about a pecking order. You can't just look at it black and white and say कि साइका ने अच्छा किया उसको खिला लो. So she'll have to wait. She'll have to bide her time. Let's see. And when the surface is sort of conducive enough, they might potentially want to play an extra spinner, and that's where they could replace a pacer with her. Till then, she'll have to wait. So I don't think that there's too much to be looked into when it comes to Saika. Too many bits and pieces play Saika. Yeah, 2 schools of thought. I belong to the other one. I like having all-round options. So yeah, maybe I might be wrong there as well. MI captains need to contribute more with the bat if they want to continue in T20. Oh, I see what you did there, sports fan. Very nicely done. Impressed. Yeah, they definitely need to contribute more. Sorry, Shomi, you seem to have.
Yeah, I was just looking into the. I mean, the team. There's no news about Snehalana at all, right? I mean, her presence could
She's
be.
not a part of the squad though. She's not a part of the T20 setup. So basically the two changes from the ODI to the T20s, Minu Mani and Kanika Ahuja
Kanika,
coming in,
Yeah,
Sneh Rana and Harleen Deol.
Harleen.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, interesting. Vrinda Dinesh could replace Shefali after this WPL. That's actually something I did want to talk about. We'll save all of these conversations for the 30-20 as well because there's plenty of talking points. Vrinda Dinesh for the UP Warriors could be very interesting. That'd be a very explosive combo to be honest. Adisa Higi on the one from one end, and of course Vrinda Dinesh from the other. It's a funny conundrum with the Indian team. Men's team needs the bits and pieces player, which they can't get, and women's team needs more consistent specialists who they don't seem
Yeah.
to get. That's actually a very good point. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that that is the case. But yeah, I still feel the women's side does not have to focus too much on specialists right now. With the existing options, they can make do with. Even today, again, just to be clear, it's not the bowling that lost us the game. It was the batting. We lost the game in the first innings. Had we gotten 15, 20 runs extra, we could have very well made a game out of this,
Yeah,
like a game. So yeah, that's where we sort of have to be a bit more clear. Last few comments before we wrap it up. Akshay Harman should have talked to Shriyanka after one boundary hit in her last over about plans. So this is where we spoke about this as well. Like in terms of when Phoebe Litchfield is accessing those areas behind the square, तो आपको पता है कि कहाँ पे कहाँ fielders होनी चाहिए क्या. Yeah, me, I'm not sure. Like, to be honest, this T20 in particular, I've not been one bit impressed with Hardman, and this is strictly coming from an armchair critic. खुद को कुछ नहीं मान रहा. Again, to be clear, I only sound a bit too sort of obnoxious when I sort of make it sound that way. But Neha, Hardman the skipper, few parting words, so to say, like just to close us out. What did you make of Hardman the skipper today?
Yeah, so I think Harman the skipper today did not get some things right that will, come to bite her back. Like, I mean, you can only do so much with the kind of resources you have. But then with, Amanjot kind of not getting her line and length in that second over she was bowling, maybe, having a chat with her, ki, hey, you don't have to bowl like back to back slower balls because clearly, Ellis Perry and I think T-Mac at the crease at that time were able to, read into the situation. And also, even when Shriyanka was like getting hit for a few runs, perhaps she could have just gone over and had a chat. Field placement kaisa karna hai, and that would have helped largely as well. So I think we see the series poised, with 1-1 now, the third T20, and so much to look forward to. But then Harman the skipper also somewhere I feel time is running out, right? Like I think she really needs to up her ante somewhere because the fans will start asking questions. The experts will be like, "Kya chal raha hai?" And then maybe the last sticking thing could be the World Cup that's coming up. And if India again does badly, because the World Cup is again happening in Bangladesh, conditions quite similar to India, so India can be said to have an edge. But then, are we getting our playing 11 right? That is going to be the nagging question, right?
100% of anything, I'd say Bangladesh is a lot more spin friendly. So it is important that we do get our playing 11s right because right now we have at best like 1.5 batters of spin, in our top seven, and that's not going to help. So we need to understand we need to have adequate options ready, backups ready. So it is important we create a proper pecking order. Yeah, I'm hoping that the management is on top of all of these things. Show me again the same question to you as well before we sort of end this. Harman's captaincy, what did you make of it today? Because yeah, not particularly impressed both of us. How's it with you?
Along with everything that you guys said, plus along with that is uh she just doesn't take up the responsibility. We spoke about how the platform was really set for her to kind of come and be the captain and lead the way from there. Didn't happen in quite a few matches now. uh didn't show any intent to come and take up the bowling responsibilities either. So yeah, I mean, it's just not, in spite of being such a character, she's not showing any intention to lead from the front, which is a little starking, a difference from what she comes across. So that's one part. And just during our conversations, just imagine the number of times we have said for the number of players that the rope is kind of getting shorter now. We have spoken about it about Shifali, we have spoken about it about Harman, we have spoken about it a little bit about Deepti, Amanjot. So if in an 11 you have four players who are really trying to hold on to that place, I think that's not a great situation for any team getting into the World Cup.
100%, 100%. And on that somber note, it is, of course, time for us to end this watch along. It's been great bringing this game to you guys. Unfortunately, the result did not go in our favor. Something we hope wouldn't be the case. Day after tomorrow, come the decider on Tuesday. We will be here. We will be here sharp at 7 p.m. once again to cover the 13th T20I, the all-important decider. It'll be great to watch that as well. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us. Please make sure you've hit the like button if you haven't already. Do subscribe to us if you haven't already. Until then, it's a goodbye. And also, don't forget, tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp, we will be, of course, live for the latest episode of Monday Night Live. Avnish, Nikhil, and I will be there. We will be talking about a lot of things. The India squad, of course, for the Afghanistan series, the T20 World Cup. And there was one more talking point that I'm clearly forgetting about. There are these two for sure. There'll be more. As and when time comes, we will talk about it. Not to forget, there's Howzat as well. So until then, have a great night, have a great Sunday, have a great weekend as well, whatever's left of it. Until then, it's a goodbye. See ya.